Okay, and we're live. Hello everyone, it is I, Lucky, one half of StudiOmega, and this is What's Up. And I'm gonna start off saying we're getting a little bit of a weird What's Up here because for whatever reason, Omega has not shown up yet. Now, I say that, but I kind of blame myself. I blame myself. If you don't might not realize, we're actually a half hour past our usual time. Past the usual time. Because Lucky fucked up. He screwed something up, and he had to put on his adult pants and rush out to take care of it. I was able to get it done actually reasonably well. I'll talk about more about that, what actually happened in a moment. But I came back, rushed out, I'm like, alright, it's like 4 o'clock right now. I'll message Omega real quick. I'll tell him, like, hey, we can get started at half past. And we'll just, start as usual. No biggie. No biggie. I sent him a message in our mod channel. He has not responded. I have not seen him, like, in our recording. I do not see him anywhere. I see him. It says he's online. But it doesn't say he's doing anything. So I'm just like, I don't know. I genuinely don't. So, we're having a Lonely Boys What's Up right now. I'm pretty sure he's gonna come in later and be all like, "What the fuck? Why didn't you message me?" I'll be like, I said something in mod. And he's like, "Yeah, you should have been added me." And I'm all like, "No." There's gonna be something back and forth, but hopefully, he'll show up soonish. I bet he's eating. I bet he's having him a Snackers. I bet. So it'll be great.
Anyway. Okay, sorry about that. My bedside clock is a few minutes slow. I thought I had a couple more minutes.
Ah.
I was cleaning up after dinner.
So you were eating?
Yep.
I figured that. Well, anyway, don't worry. We have only just started. And I was just relaying the story of how things are a little weird right now.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and roll audio, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're going.
We're going. Excellent. So, okay, we are back now to your
story.
Back to the regular What's Up. So like I was saying, we started a little bit late because Lucky did dumb. He did a stupid dumb. Guys, don't go to suspicious sites or links, even if it sounds interesting, especially if they ask you to immediately put in your login information. Lucky got. So playing Final Fantasy 14 earlier today, someone sent me a tell. It's like, hey, don't let Square Enix remove this content. Go here to vote on the petition. I was all like, well, what the fuck are they doing? So I went there, and of course it's like, oh, please log in. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And then I was like, wait a minute, it was too late. And immediately there was a charge to my fucking card. I was like, shit. So I had to go on this big spree of calling my bank, contacting Square Enix, removing cards, blocking my other card, but like, it was just, as a whole kit and caboodle. And then I had to, like, basically, I'm, like, checking, I had to check, my accounts and whatnot just to see. Apparently, whoever did this, they're pinging from Austria. I'm like, it's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, that reminds me of, it was a while ago now, but I had to, like, change all my passwords. Like, shout out to companies with accounts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, companies that track all this. For the most part, they're pretty good about realizing, hey, you're not in India right now, right? So this isn't you. So, okay, we just won't do that. But I think it was like 6 months to a year ago now, I had to basically change all my passwords because somebody had gotten a hold of like one of them or like figured out some one and was trying it like everywhere, trying to make fake logins on my stuff, like all of my accounts were like getting weird logins, and I was like, okay, well, my passwords are different enough that they're not getting in straight out, and like I said, companies are good enough to be like, even if they had my actual password, they were like, hey, you're not in, you haven't ever logged in from China, so we're pretty sure this is fake. You should double check your security. And I'm like, thanks, buddy. Thanks, Google.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sony. Thanks, everybody. And so I changed everything. But yeah, it's weird how the subtle things. So you lowered your shields for a second, and then you were like, ah, shit.
Well, yeah, because again, what they did is they caught my curiosity. Like
Which
usually,
is arguably a better tactic than usually what they do. Like,
Yeah.
I still get loads of spam emails from somebody who just says their name is PayPal or Amazon.com, but you can always tell because their actual things are like, the actual account is like junk, right?
yeah. But like I said, so no, they got me. So I'm just like, God damn it. So now I got to keep an eye on my bank account for the next couple days to make sure that Mr. Austria doesn't do it. But I've done what I can, and that's all I can do. And like I said, if I start losing a bunch of money, I'll be like, nope, give me my money back.
I've got a funny one. I just realized I was checking my spam folder and it says it's from Apple ID to customer service, and they're like, oh, there's a device we don't recognize. I'm like, haha, joke's on you. I don't have anything fucking Apple, you animals, you idiots, you fools.
No, I've definitely done that a couple times. People will be calling me about like, I was like, here, do you know that your car insurance, there's a fraudulent claim against your car insurance? I'm like, I don't have car insurance. I don't even have a car.
Yeah, but to say, I get those too. I don't usually pick up, because they're automated, but I get those messages a lot, and I'm like, well, I know this call is fake because I don't own a car. Joke's on you.
I did have a little bit of a weird scare when I was getting the fake calls about, I think I mentioned about this, about, there's a warrant out for me and they're going to suspend my social security. But like a 10-second Google search was like, no, that's fake. They can't do that. What the fuck?
Yeah, they didn't couple it with a warrant call, but I did get a call once about your social security is in danger of being suspended. I'm like, nah, it's not how that works.
It's not how this works. So, yeah, no. So I apologize. The reason why we're a little bit late is because of me, but I got underhand. And also, I want to say, we're streaming Final Fantasy XIV today because I'm pretty sure, after I did some troubleshooting, that the problem wasn't necessarily with my computer. I think it was actually between the PS5 and the computer. Whatever was going through the pipeline from the HDMI cable seemed to have gotten a little
slowed.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why, but that's the only bad link I could find. So
other than just YouTube being bad that day.
Yeah. Well, if YouTube was been,
I mean, I streamed Subnautica from my capture card the other day, and it went mostly okay. I had a couple of weird blips, but it did not get as bad as it was for us last time.
Nah.
By the way, in case you didn't realize, we recorded a whole episode. It's like 4 hours. In case you didn't watch the other 3 hours of it and only watched the first, 50 minutes or whatever when the stream was scuffed. And then the second time there was a fake stream, because YouTube is weird. I've done that accidentally. You tab over to, the stream now, and it remembers all my shit from some other old stream, and I'm like, YouTube, what the fuck? How do I, make you forget? How do I make you forget this? Because I'm not gonna stream the exact same stream I streamed a year ago now. But whatever, we're hip to scheduling streams, so it's fine.
Yeah, we're about that life.
But also, in case you didn't pick up on that, I've noticed a couple more people have joined. I'm also technically I was still late, even though Lucky was metaphysically late. I was late to the show because it was okay, I'm gonna be busy with something. Hold on, I'm like, okay, so I go about my business doing some work, and then it's like, all right, I'm back. I'm setting the show to start at half an hour, and I'm like, ah, shit. I'm gonna go get some food really quick. Not even wait, Lucky, hold on, don't do that. It's I got 20 minutes? Okay, hold on, I need to go eat real quick because I was doing stuff around the house.
Mm-hmm.
I am alone this weekend. My parents have gone to go visit my grandpa who recently went back home because it's his birthday on Monday. So, I am alone. And don't worry, they're both fully vaxified, so they don't need to worry about traveling.
I have not actually got my vaccine yet. I really should.
I haven't either, so, you never know. I might be fucked when they come home, but hopefully vaccination prevents that. Plus, I'm pretty sure even if you have your vax card or whatever, you still need to, wear masks and shit.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, you guys, you remember the part where I just told the story where I don't have a car, right? So, it's in my plans. I just need to arrange transit. I am alone this weekend. I can't do it. You think I'm in some kind of New York City where I can just walk down to the fucking vax shop? Nah, it's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
I'm pretty sure to get to the pharmacy doing it, I have to cross a major highway, which I don't really want to do on foot in the middle of the day. I'm also pretty sure you still need an appointment. It's fine. It's in my plans. It'll be soon. I just haven't done it yet because I don't go out a lot. I'm a low priority. But yeah, so they're out. So I have to now take care of a lot of stuff. Like, on the one hand, being on your own, it's cool. You can take a shower at midnight, you know. I can leave my door open and play anime loudly instead of using headphones at like 6 o'clock in the morning. But it also means there's a lot of stuff to run around here. Gotta handle plants, gotta feed the cats. I think I need to feed the fish still today.
Fish.
Yep. Stuff like that. I got a fucking text at 2 o'clock in the morning, which was like, hey, can you double check that the hose to the sprinklers is turned off? And sure enough, it wasn't, so I had to go flat. All kinds of fun stuff when you've got to manage your own living space.
Yeah, I know all about that.
So we're here, though. We're doing the show.
We're doing the
Lucky
show.
streaming the thing.
I'm doing the thing.
Oh, yeah, we're like 10 minutes in. I pulled it up earlier. Let me really quickly remind everybody. This episode is brought to you by patrons like Adam DeHarp, Aka Comics, Aka Kazume, Architect 10, Black G, Carlos, Qua, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Kylie Denton, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Shawnee P, some guy named Bob, Soda Son over 2 Burns, 23. If you like what we do and want to see more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You get access to episodes early on, some other goodies, and everything helps us out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, there's a couple of things we could chat about.
Okay.
I suppose I may or may not want to. There's a lot of freaky fish guys you got on screen.
Yeah, I do.
I may or may not wish to explain why the thumbnail is the way it is.
I have ideas and reasons, but I'm waiting. I'm listening.
So if you look at the thumbnail, which was lovingly crafted by me at like 3 o'clock this afternoon, that's usually when I do the thumbnails. I do technically do them beforehand because Lucky needs them to stream, but it's not like I'm usually super inspired ahead of time. But I threw some headbands on there. I think it's a model from like Fallout 3, but I gave the Lucky Rabbit a very Snake-esque headbandana for reasons which we will probably get to in the length of producing a What's Up. And I gave me a Naruto headband because I recently I didn't really splurge. They were like relatively cheap, but I bought Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy and the like Ultimate Road to Boruto edition of Ultimate Ninja Storm 4.
Wow.
Because those games are cool, and I hadn't really played them a lot. I played the regular Ultimate Ninja series back on the PS2s. Also, yes, by the way, Naruto is that fucking old. It was on the PS2 when they made those first games. They were great. Love those games. But I never got around to owning the new ones, and I'm like, fuck it, though. I actually like Naruto. I've been talking about it with people. Yeah, I can buy stuff. And like I said, they weren't exactly costly. I think both of them together were like $60. I did also lock in my pre-order for Mass Effect, which will come out in about a week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was just like... Sorry, I did just eat some ramen, so I got all the cooking oil in my throat. Sweet smoothie oil.
Smoothie oil. Okay.
Tastes like MSG.
Yeah, do.
Anyway, I always get a little scratchy throat after the slurp on the ramen. But yeah, so I've been playing through Trilogy because they were actually out of stock on 4, so. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting thing, right? Talking about streamlining the filler out. It's certainly a thing. It's actually quite interesting. So the first Ultimate Storm is just OG Naruto. I assume anyway it cuts off because I'm not all the way through it for reasons I will talk about a little bit. But I assume it cuts off at the end of part 1 at the the pass of no return or whatever. That's as good a place as any to cut off a game, right?
Right.
It's the first one in the series, and I think they were originally on... It was when they did the jump to PS3, and then there was a PS4 trilogy that collected them all. So it's as good a place to stop as any. But it's very interesting. So the first Ninja Storm game doesn't have a straight-up story mode. It has the adventure mode, which is you wander around a map for a little bit, and then you can do what they call flashback missions to basically... I assume catch up to the story until now, except it also doesn't make any sense because you meet people in the world who are talking about stuff in the story presently. Like when you get to the Chunin exams, you have like Sakura and Sasuke chilling around the map talking about Chunin exam stuff. So The timing's a little weird, but I mean, they made this in like the PS3 era, so you know everybody should know the story already. And I gotta be real, guys. You should not be getting your anime storylines from tie-in games.
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes you can get some interesting streamlines, right? And
Like,
CC2,
honestly,
who makes those games, do a really good job handling cutscenes and story and stuff. But like, they're not going to be arranged the best to give you all the information in the order that the authors and stuff intended it.
I don't know. I'm still remember how I said I don't even need to finish the fucking the Shippuden anime because I just watched fucking Team 4-Star play what was it, Ninja Storm 3 and Neutral Spanish. I'm like, no, I'm good. This is great.
Ninja Storm 4, which is actually why I decided to get them. Because I watched them again. But also, I gotta be real, Lucky. That doesn't actually count. Those guys yammer over a lot of arguably cool and interesting stuff because they're on the internet and they want to ironically diss on Naruto or whatever.
Well, I mean, I need to watch anime. I've already finished the fucking manga, so I already knew what happened.
See, that's fair. You can just read the manga and be fine. You're caught up.
Yeah, but no, like seeing it animated, I was just like, no, this is great. I'm done.
Yeah, CC2 does good work. Neutral Spanish, the best thing in the anime. But yeah, so the way the first Ultimate Ninja Storm handles it is a little weird. So like, I was a little bamboozled by the start of the game because they're like, okay, to progress through the basic bitch missions, because they start you with, all right, Naruto, you're a ninja now, you got to do training. You know, they make you fight Kakashi for the bells, they make you run up some trees and shit. They're like, to get this, you have to get mission EXP, which means you got to do basically the like free quest equivalent, do rando scrub missions in the world map. I don't know if it's just because it's the trilogy port or this was part of the original game design, but the only missions they start giving you are like S and A rank, and they're like really weird and honestly kind of hard challenge missions. To find actual basic bitch baby missions like the D rank stuff you actually should be doing for tutorial, you need to like go around and talk to people in the map who are quite spread out. I can see why they kind of toned down this feature a little bit in future games to like for core story progression. It's not bad. It's just a little annoying when like every time you want to do a mission, you gotta sprint across all of Hidden Leaf Village to talk to a guy. But I was like, man, this is a weird gameplay element. Also, another interesting thing, not necessarily weird because it kind of makes sense, but it also like cuts out a couple of like story and character opportunities. They completely cut out the Zabuza stuff.
Oh wow, why?
Yeah, you go from basic training, and you do incorporate some stuff like there's a tree racing minigame, so they do that. But you go straight to the tuning exams. I assume it's because just for streamlining, like if you're taking all of the Naruto Part 1 story into account, right, you've got a lot of work to do, and doing Zabuza adds arguably like 4 or 5 fights.
Yeah, I guess it's true, but I would still say there were important fights. Well,
they are, because that's when because in I know that there's always been like a power-up mode, like awakening mode, like you can go to higher levels. I've seen NPCs do it. One of the restrictions I've seen through playing all the story missions is usually awakening is not possible, because I assume Naruto's awakening, as always, is Nine-Tails Chakra mode. Which, if you did the Zabuza fight, you would probably have to the Zabuza arc, I should say, they would probably have to explain, because that is canonically when Naruto and Sasuke both first use their special powers versus Haku. But yeah, like I said, that I can understand though, because it would be adding. You'd have to move the tree climbing thing, because that's when it actually happened. You'd have to like fight Zabuza probably like twice as Kakashi, and you'd have to fight him at least once as like Naruto. And then you also have to fight Haku as Naruto and or Sasuke at least once. So that's like 4 fights right there. Maybe some other rando stuff. It was an interesting choice. But yeah, I've been progressing. I'm all the way up through the tuning exams in the game and ready to do. They break it out into 2 steps for Destruction of Leaf. So there's the time skip. By the way, guys, if you ever want to catch up on your Naruto, at least I believe all of the OG Naruto branded is on Netflix. But yeah, so I'm going to be progressing through those games on and off as a fun time filler time, because it's pretty easy to pick up. You know, you got to learn some stuff. But I just thought it was kind of funny where like these games are obviously really good. Like I've physically seen 4 played, and it looks really cool. And CC2 goes way crazier. If you don't know, CyberConnect 2 are the guys who also did Ashura's Wrath and a lot of other games in that vein, so they're cool. But I'll probably check in every now and then about my progress if I get to do anything fun. And we'll work through that. I think, check when my order of 4 is. I'm not familiar with .hack, so I don't know. Somebody else is going to have to answer that.
I believe they did, but do not take Lucky's word for it.
Yeah, arriving May 15th or 16th. So technically I may get Mass Effect 4 Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 arrives. But yeah, that's one of the things I've been doing over the week. Though I do want to, speaking about my Amazon orders, I do want to very slightly shit talk Amazon orders a little bit.
Oh.
Because I ordered some dry goods, some groceries, some foods through them. And I don't know if there's like a shortage on air pack packets. If you order from like Walmart or a lot of other vendors, you wouldn't think so. But now they just threw my like things of like crackers, cookies, and ramen noodles just like loosey-goosey in the box.
Oof.
With no protection. I had some dental flossers in there. They also, I guess it came from the same warehouse, they also threw my copy of Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy in there, too. So, I'm digging through the box, and I'm like, it's all one order, where is it? And it's sandwiched between, like, 2 bags of cookies. I'm like, all right, Amazon, calm down. No, like, packing peanuts? Actually, no packing peanuts, because I believe packing peanuts are, like, ludicrously bad for the environment. Much like NFTs. But, yeah, I was just kind of like, all right, guys. All right, thanks, buddies. Thanks, pals. It's like when they shipped me like some saltine crackers in like a bag, not even a box, but they bagged it in just loose cardboard. I'm like, this is not in good shape.
I feel like their grocery department is not as well funded as the rest.
Possibly. That or just they're trying to apply the usual Amazon, we'll get this to you as fast as you ordered it. If we want to, we'll send it back in time. But that doesn't... I would much prefer waiting an extra day for food, and obviously that doesn't work for all food products. You know, maybe you got to eat, but if you really got to eat, like, hopefully you can get something somewhere sooner. But like, I assume they're trying to throw it out there faster, which means they slimline on the packing, which is not how you should handle thinly cardboard packaged food products and dry goods. God forbid if they were actually like anything like. Well, some of that stuff's already seriously damageable, but, like, imagine, like, beating up canned goods in there. Ugh. Glass.
Ooh, no.
Who knows? Maybe if there was live glass in there, they'd treat it more carefully. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sure they start getting pictures of people just opening boxes to broken glasses and have to issue refunds. They'll be real concerned.
Yeah. But, yeah, okay. That's that.
Ow. Ow.
And, if we want to just go ahead and go to the reason why you're wearing a snake headband.
Yeah, okay.
That's the other thing I've been doing mostly this week is writing for the next Star Wars segment. Which has prompted certain thoughts and feelings from the players.
Mostly lucky.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me.
Like, I'm not gonna say that the way this document is written is not coded like a video game map where every area has a letter and a number combination. I won't say that.
No,
but it's
no.
true. So yeah, I have been working a lot. It's all very like it's time intensive to write down every little thing, but it's pretty fast paced. Every section's like 1 or 2 paragraphs. I'm not quite done yet, but I can probably get done either after this or tomorrow before we game.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty close to being done. But yeah, so this prompted an interesting discussion.
Well, yeah, I'm actually looking it up here because looking at the conversation, you popped in, saying, I am now 2/3 of the way through designing my new funhouse attraction of Volcano Death. Marth was like, nice, and my immediate response is, the term funhouse concerns me. To which you respond, it's a house of fun and gun nests.
Listen, I'm designing an evil volcano lair. There's a certain amount of fun involved.
Yeah, so in response to his house of fun, I said, for you. And this is the line that got me started. Omega said, well, since you guys did mention Metal Gear Solid a few times, that did shape my thinking about several opportunities for the old Procure on site. To which I'm like, ooh. And Omega,
yeah, and I want to phrase that. That was the thing that was brought up. You and Marth were going, as the Jedi who are in command of the operation, you guys have been going back and forth about theoretically how you want to tackle this task.
Yeah.
And some discussion of the Metal Gear Solid sneaking mission has come up.
Yes.
And I was like, well, you guys have been talking about that literally while I've been writing. Like, Lucky is having his great workplace conversations about stuff not related to work in the middle of the day. So as I am literally, you guys didn't realize it, but as I'm literally sitting here on one monitor typing in my document. So I was like, okay, we can throw in some nods. And that prompted you to immediately go, well, now I have to. How do I figure out a way to have everybody leave their shit behind? To which, me, as the eternally permissive game master, was like, "Well, that's easy. It's an island. Just tell them they got to swim ashore."
And I took that and ran.
Yeah. Now I think I said this yesterday on Let's Talk, but I was like, now I don't want to say that I'm opposed to this idea because I absolutely enabled this. But I do want to, just for the sake of you guys and your usual methodology, I did say not necessarily to overcommit before you guys actually go and look at the problem.
No.
But yeah, absolutely, that is a legitimate strategy if you guys want to just strip down to your skivvies and your knives and go swim.
No,
like that,
we're not going down that far, but got some ideas, got some thoughts. We'll talk about them. Like, again, because realizing what, like, going over the rules again and stuff, because I was thinking about that. It's like, okay, what if we, like, made some, like, cool, what if we made a sneaking suit and stuff? And I was looking at stuff, yeah, I'm shit at mechanics, and then I realized I can literally use mission specialists just to fucking fudge a fucking mechanics roll with leadership. And I was like, oh no.
I do also believe that your crafting specialist has literally built a sneak suit. Like, Axe made a lightweight set of armor that was customizable, and then he stuffed it full of armor pads because the armor pads are broken. No, literally armor plating is a broken ass mod. You get 2 soak, 2 defense. You can turn a fucking burlap sack you bought at a market into a 2/2 piece of armor, the most expensive piece of armor for like pennies. It's the FFG games are not necessarily. I feel like at times they're not necessarily meant to be played all books all together.
I can understand that.
But I gotta be honest, for the most part, I don't really give a shit because soak and defense are very chaotic. Like, giving you 2 soak isn't a big deal. Now, if you guys got like your 2 soak lightweight armor and then we're going through like all the talent trees that give you like armor master and shit, that might be a concern. But it's not usually a concern.
Not usually.
But yeah, so he's got like optical camouflage armor plating sewn in, and it's still like really lightweight and shit. So
yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. I'm probably gonna make him put on some sort of basic stealth gear and see Axe cry.
There is a default clone armor, stealth. I think there's also quote unquote Jedi stealth armor if you want to borrow some shit.
I might. And then, we'll leave all our big guns behind and most of our gear, and we'll just be like blub blub.
I think the only person that really fucks over is probably Lost character Boots, because he is very much a ranged heavy gunnery guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a few points of melee, but he's never been really good at it.
Yeah, it just means he has to punch some dudes at the base and get a gun.
Steal. Gun steal.
Yep.
Also, I mean, yeah, you could absolutely MacGyver some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely giving me some thoughts and feelings, and as like I said, I was about 2/3 done. I've definitely been leaning into it with the back half as well.
Nice.
That, and also I feel like the reason why I think this design ended up the way it is, though, when I started writing it, and even now in the approach I've got, it could absolutely still handle a mass combat if you ever like if you guys get your butts kicked off the island and are like, okay, I'm gonna come back with more friends. Like the rules to handle this as a mass combat are there, but we've been doing that a lot lately.
Yes, we have.
Which I believe is kind of why you and Marth, who end up having to shoulder the bulk of this as the Jedi characters, are kind of like, can we do this in a more relaxed, small scale way? Do I need 50 billion dudes to take care of this problem? No? Okay, that's better. I've realized that it has been a little while since we had a... Like... Well, the formatting of this is actually very similar to a dungeon crawl. Like, there's no map, though I could do that because, like I said, I literally have letters and numbers. M1 connects to M2. And also L7. But it doesn't connect to M0. M0 connects to M3. But yeah, no, like so it's obviously not as intense as like a full-blown dungeon crawl or hex crawl, right? But like I said, most of these are just like 1 or 2 paragraphs long, maybe 3 if it's a very particularly dense area. But just every room has every section or room or area has a description. It's got some rules, like if it's dark there, if it's like outside and slippery or something, I note of what kind of enemies are there in case you cause an alert phase. Why, yes, I have totally been calling it alert phases and stuff. But it made me realize that we haven't done that kind of smaller scale stuff, like I said, and so I wanted to like get in there and like, okay, what kind of fun stuff can we hide in here? Because, I'm actually kind of excited for the idea of you guys stripping down some basic gear and stuff, because I do kind of feel like, especially with the clones, but I think in general, a lot of the characters have become kind of static in what they're carrying now, because you guys have mostly hit your cap of encumbrance and don't have a lot of places to go.
Yeah.
And a little bit of that like stimulation of like looking for new fun stuff has been lost.
Oh yeah.
Mostly you guys spend your time looking for fun new buildings to build.
Yeah, we do.
So I was kind of like, let's throw in some, some loot, some fun stuff.
Well, and honestly,
and even if it's just temporary shit, the like I said, the picture on site, the opportunity to be like honestly, I think what first got it is just the idea of like a common complaint we have. Even though I designed a thing for this, is Axe's character, right? Camo. He's also your demo man.
Yeah.
He's your commando, so that makes sense. His primary skills, I would say, are sneaking, survival, so like wilderness stuff, and mechanics, which doubles as crafting, repairing, and also sabotage, bombs, etc. And also he hurts people, but everybody hurts people, honestly.
Crack nuts.
You all have combat skills. So, but a common complaint we have is like, well, mostly it's a common complaint he has, and I also don't really know what Axe wants me to do about this when he's constantly kvetching about how heavy his gun is and how heavy his bombs are. We've done some improvements to let Boots have some wiggle room, because Boots was... Loft doesn't really complain about his lack of encumbrance. He more just goes like, this is how it is. We're done now. I will never have more. This is what I can carry. Like, occasionally when you guys try and get him to, like, carry extra shit or move shit around, he's like, okay, well, I don't really have space for that.
And then we usually go, why? And we find out that he's been completely doing his math, or he doesn't have something that we would usually consider essential to carrying stuff. And he's just like, no, whatever, I don't care. He doesn't say it quite like that, but it's usually the impression.
Yeah, it's the gist. He's like, I wasn't really bothered. I'm like, okay, well, we'll fix you up a little bit. Now you got some more space. Okay, cool. But Axe at times has expressed kind of discontent with the fact that like he physically cannot carry all the shit he wants to carry to do all of his jobs, basically. Like, in terms of EXP, he is able to build out a character that has a lot of really good specializations with only a couple of spec trees, I think.
Yeah. Well, also...
Like, he's
I think
an
also
ARC Trooper veteran and a sniper, I think?
Yeah, I think it's also the problem that Axe wants to do too many things.
Well, yeah, he has a very diverse skill set that I just listed off, but
yeah.
It's stuff that's all, like, allowed and encouraged by his spec trees, which aren't that crazy. He does only have, like, 3.
I could have sworn.
Like, I think all the things he's good at are his, like, career and spec skills as well. But, yeah, like, he cannot carry his big, heavy rifle and also his, you know, melee weapon and all of his guns, and also carry, like, bombs. I know before he's complained about not having more sensors to just, like, detect stuff and learn things.
Again, he wants
also,
to
be fair, a lot of the sensor systems are really fucking heavy.
Well, that is true, but again, I think
a lot of them are like E4 to E6, like backpacks or cart units, and it's like, okay, this would be really handy to have us like learn stuff and figure out shit, but it's way too fucking heavy.
Well, again, like I said, I don't think this is necessarily an Axe thing, but like this is because I believe this is a general player thing. Is people like to succeed, and Axe does not like to fail at anything. So,
Yep.
like, because there's plenty of things that I can't do. Like, I can't see worth a shit. I'm all like, yeah, I got Skirk. She gives me like 2 blues. I still didn't shit. Whatever. And
That's on top of you, by the way, cheating because you're using a homebrew race that I designed, Miraluka, who, because you have force eyes, that is to say you don't have fucking eyes, you have magic mind eye powers. You just ignore concealment all the time.
Yeah, but I still have no perception. What's perception based off? Int? Cunning. Well, either way, they're both 2. So I'm like, 2 green and a cup of blue. Here we go. I saw
completely
shit.
Average.
Yeah.
And occasionally you still see things.
Occasionally. And it's like piling. Like I bought the first things just so I could say I can pilot. But other than that, I'm like, I don't care. Fucking whatever. Knowledges? How good
you
am I?
got a thing for that.
Yeah. And
you literally made a thing for that.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's probably what I should tell Axe to do, is just to make. You want to make a thing that makes you 2 sensors too? Then make it. Make things.
I believe hypothetically you can. I mean, you can get general tools. What's the general tool rule? It's like gives you right tool for the job and can give you a boost in certain circumstances, and then you can do other stuff.
Yeah.
You could probably count that. You can count that for perception or certain knowledges.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know. It might say general in the rules. I probably don't give that much of a fuck that you can't build something to assist you with no rolls. I assume it says general skill, so you can't build items that make you better at combat checks because players don't need any help.
No, we really don't. Honestly, this is another reason, like, wrapping back around, this is another reason why I'm like, yeah, let's strip down. Just to maybe depower us a little bit. Because, like I said, we yelled at Axe about this 2 shows ago. Sometimes just being able to hecking, take the, final boss down to 1 hit point in a single move ain't that great. Mm-hmm. So, basically, if we have to find, whatever we can on site, like, because I'm telling you right now, Arma's not taking her Crush Gun. She's still going to fight with her fists, and she'll do a fair amount of damage still, but, won't be
You're
just...
still pretty good at that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still pretty good at it. But it's going to be like...
Actually, I've got a perfect in-universe excuse for this. Aren't your Crush Guns still damaged?
Yeah, they are.
I don't think you fixed them all during downtime.
No, I've been busy.
Not that like 1 black die you get actually stops you because, I don't know, you're phenomenally good at punching people. But...
Yeah. I could actually maybe, like, use the... What was it? What's the talent called? Unparry something else. Yeah, because normally when you just use your straight fist, it's like... You get fun things, but your crit's like 5, but I have something where this is down to 3.
Yeah, it's +0, it's normally crit 5. You get, I think, Disorient 2 and Knockdown.
Yeah. So, I can...
And then, yeah.
I can truly be my empty hand style. But, like, strip out of the armor, like, maybe not have the benefit of all my, like, my nifty stuff. Maybe remove some, like, and leave my, like, oh, no, I'll probably bring a lightsaber just because it's a really, really handy door opener. Is the
also, to be fair, also, most of the shit you carry is all social. You've got, like, you have literally made and failed checks to combine all of your data pads into 1 data pad because Star Wars is a really weird setting about computers, so you're carrying, like, 5 iPhones, which give you 1 tiny little bonus.
I think I was able to...
God forbid. I think you did actually get them combined eventually.
I got them combined into 2 separate items, I think.
Yeah, but it's still... It's so funny, because these, like, manuals and stuff are so handy, but it's, like... It's so silly. Even if they were paper, right?
Mhm.
It would be ludicrous to like carry around. Oh yeah, I'm carrying around like 5 tourist guides and manuals and shit.
Again, this is why I've been flabbergasted I forgot about mission specialist, because it just lets me do things that I'm not really good at, like mechanics, and just like, no, leadership now.
Yeah, you just need some minions. I mean, that is assuredly what it exists for. It exists so you have a leader type character who can yell at mooks to do jobs, because what squad doesn't have a guy who knows how to do that, right?
Yeah.
Without
squad.
actually complicating your player base, because I mean, you guys have a shitload, a metric fuck ton of EXP. Even then, you guys are still not necessarily super good at everything, but like the 4-player characters are decently spread out. There's still some overlap. Like we have technically 2 mechanics heads, and a couple of you can pilot. Several of you have a wide variety of social skills, because charm is a career skill for you guys and has been for a long time. But yeah, it's even with all that, with 4 people, you guys still have stuff you're not good at. There's some knowledge skills I don't think you guys are very good at, or at the very least are very minimal at. Like I think Marth's bought a couple points of no underworld, like out of career, because it makes sense for his character. And like I think Outer Rim is in one of the careers for camo, and he's got like a point or 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's knowledge skills are kind of weak for you guys in a lot of areas. That's why you built several special things to help with that. Through many iterations. That is one thing at least I like about the crafting system. It really does make you feel that iterative process. You gotta hammer some shit out.
Yep.
Boots, I believe, is your only person with knowledge xenology.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any points in knowledge core worlds?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's actually necessarily been a time that's boned us over, but you never know.
It's a little weird. So I often double check what stats mean what. So like for instance, spoiler, there will be some moments where you guys are going to be like underground or something, or in the middle of the woods, and you need to navigate. This game can't make up its fucking mind what the skill to navigate stuff is. In the skill description of astrogation, which is an int-based skill, it only describes it being used for like hyperspace navigation checks or like figuring out where you are in the galactic scale. However, in the Age of Rebellion core book, they explicitly note that Celestins, you know, the big jowly boys, jowly aliens, their species has evolved a natural sense of direction, so they always know what direction they're going and how. In their stats, this is translated as they get a free point of astrogation. So I guess astrogation also just applies to normal-ass navigation? Question mark?
My first thought would that probably been like a survival check or something.
Yeah, no, but that's not how they're translated in their stats. So basically the way I've written it in my notes a couple of times is you can use either or. You can use the cunning-based survival or the int-based astrogation. It really depends on what you're better at. And survival, it's only ever exactly survival if you are actually like either in A, like a wilderness survival situation for sure, or B, if you're tracking, because tracking 100% is survival. Because guess what? The skill description for survival also at no point talks about navigating in the middle of nowhere. It's only in reference to tracking, finding supplies, etc. And I'm like, Star Wars, there's no way you guys making an RPG in the year 20-something did not realize that player characters will want to wander towards places where they don't know how to get to. That's like RPG 101. And I'm pretty sure D&D has compressed that down to survival currently.
Yeah, that's what I remember, yes.
Yeah, so I assume it's survival, but it's not very clear. So I remember from the description of core worlds, I think you roll knowledge core worlds to identify what planet somebody is from culturally. Like, even if you know their species, you can pick up on mannerisms if they're from a specific planet. You can, use it to figure out social cues for, like, people from different planets, like how to approach somebody or interact with them without being rude. And, like, Also, actually, like, figure out what planet you're on, if it's a core world or not. That's about it. And Outer Rim is basically like identify if you're on a weird Outer Rim planet, identify where in the Outer Rim to go for specific supplies, because you can't, go everywhere, right?
Right.
The Outer Rim. And there's probably a third bullet point I don't remember right now. Let me see if I can. Okay, so core worlds is identify a person's planet of origin without asking. Know how to be polite and necessary, etc. And then specializing in identifying markets for goods. And Outer Rim is find a planet, particular resource or service in the Outer Rim. Determine the best location to acquire critical supplies. That seems like it's the same thing as that first bullet point. Fantasy Flight Games. And then just like core worlds can be used to interact with people politely, you can do the same with Outer Rims in the outer rim area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a little redundant. I think Genesis does this along with a lot of things better, where they severely cut down knowledge skills. Like, by default in Genesis, knowledge is a single skill, and then most settings break it up into like 3 or 4 tops if it's actually specific. If you want to, if you want to have certain amounts of characterization, you want to break out knowledge into a different skill for like magical stuff, because a lot of the magic system with spells is keyed to your ranks in the knowledge skill. You can also use it for like specific weird setting knowledge versus like more applicable outside of setting knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Like, and I do actually think some people argue that you should never split the knowledge skill. I'm like, no. There's actually a reason to do this, because it lets you build different characters who are knowledgeable about different things.
Yeah.
Like in Star Wars, for instance, there's a knowledge education. It's a very basic skill. It lets you interact with governments. It lets you do basic bitch science and math and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. It represents whatever your common educational base is. I think all of our player characters are bad at it.
Yes.
Which makes sense, because we've got 2 clone troopers and 2 Jedi. You guys have never been to what could be called a public school.
Nope.
But that's separate from, say, knowledge lore, which is a skill I believe some of you have.
Yeah, I have lore.
Yeah, because you're a Jedi.
I'm a Jedi.
So lore is like lost planets, ancient relics, history and folklore and legends and stuff. And I'm like, no, those should be separate, because that absolutely makes sense that on the one hand, my Jedi character might actually like recognize an archaeological artifact or an ancient myth, but does not necessarily know, the chemical formula for, I don't know, like table salt or something. Well, you have big brain. Lots in chat. He's talking about how he's occasionally beat the Jedi at rolling lore before. Yes, but that's because you're the medicine guy, so you have a big int score. Well, if it was before you were int 3, then probably you guys were all dumb.
Yeah.
The dice do this sometimes, and it's why I like the dice system for Star Wars / Genesis, because you can absolutely just roll some greens and roll some purples and stuff will happen,
Mm-hmm.
Without necessarily freaking out. Now, obviously, you want to enhance yellow dice, but they're still random. This is a thing we talk about back and forth. Like we mentioned earlier, Axe doesn't like to fail if he's really good at something, and that's usually why he's very painstaking and make sure he's got all his modifiers, because he really wants to succeed when he should be good at something. But sometimes the dice are just like, nah, but you don't, though. And usually, if you're rolling a big pool, you will not get a full cancel. The only times you get that is if you're rolling a really, really hard check that you're really, really good at, right?
Right.
It's very rare to get a one-sided check that cancels out. I gotta be honest, your actual pool for gunnery boots is not actually that huge. You rolled like 2 yellows and a green? 3 yellows versus like 3 purples? That's not actually that big of a difference. No, I'm talking about like you rolling your 6 athletics, so you're like 4 yellows and 2 greens or some shit, right? Or like Axe rolling a sneaking check, which is like 6 yellows, I think, at this point, or something dumb.
Yeah.
Like, those are checks you're really good at because you guys have high skill, high stat, and equipment to help you. Because like I said, we're a very late game campaign, high XP. You guys have earned a lot of cash, and you earn lots of cash all the time. You literally made like 6 figures of credits just selling some guns the other week.
Yeah. We spent a bit of it.
Oh yeah, no, you reinvested that because macro scale projects in Star Wars are also really fucking expensive. But I mean, like, technically they're not really expensive if you think about the credit value, right? Like I think a Star Destroyer just costs like millions or tens of millions of credits, as opposed to like the actual development cost of like a modern aircraft carrier is like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
To completely build and assemble and inventory and shit. But still, like, in the terms of, like, compared to, like, oh, it's like, 5 credits to buy, some chance cubes or a pack of cards or, like, a meal. I think ration packs are, like, 5 credits.
Yeah.
6 figures is a lot. But it was all above board, too. I didn't make up any of that shit. That was all what the mechanics said how much money you should have earned was. It's almost like the game designers really didn't plan their economy around the idea that you guys could just knock over a large-scale starship and steal all its guns.
Again, we talk about this often, but again, it's a fucking, it's all they want people to stay in that fucking Millennium Falcon. They really do.
Yeah, and I as much as I think there's a lot of really cool things and a lot of really good character design stuff and rules and stuff in the Clone Wars books, I don't actually think, even though there's 2 source books, there's actually sufficient guidance I've seen on a mechanical end for, like, handling player characters in a war setting. Like, even if you think about the Clone Wars animated series. By the way, I'm not caught up on Bad Batch at all, guys. There's like 2 episodes out. I haven't watched them yet. I'll catch up. Eventually. Still pay for that Disney Plus. But like, even if you watch the Clone Wars series, do actually think about this. At no point does Anakin or Obi-Wan or anyone ever actually care about how many fucking dudes they've got left, where they get their vehicles, how they get anywhere. Like, obviously, they're like, if we were doing a campaign that was literally based on the Clone Wars, the cartoon, we'd be different because they do a lot of world hopping. Like, Anakin and Obi-Wan are basically like, not quite like shock troops, but they're like, they're usually employed almost like specialists. Like, they're deployed to problem planets as needed, and they move around a lot with their units. Like, and Anakin and Obi-Wan are rarely in the same battle twice. As opposed to, like, at least according to the background, and we do occasionally see this on camera, there are some of these battles and some of these fights on these planets that go on for, like, the entirety of the war. There are, like, sieges and back and forth trades, which are presumably commanded by the same generals and have the same clone trooper units fighting in them for literally years. But that's not as interesting as going lots of places and building lots of different sets, so we don't do that. Allowances for TV. The campaign we're doing, the Soholiv campaign, is much more like that second thing. Like, you guys are embedded on a planet, and you guys are here for the long haul. If that had gone by a little faster, I had actually plans to kind of, like, move the meta plot through a couple of planets, but I think just the way the campaign shook out, that, like, no, you guys are on Soholiv for good, and the story is now the story of the Battle of Soholiv. So that works out. But yeah, like, obviously some people will say, okay, well, that means that in the fiction, you see this, that means that the Game Master shouldn't matter about that stuff. Okay, but that's really hard. It's really hard to be a Game Master and not care about things. As the Game Master, you have to ask questions because you're going to be asked questions by players. And as a setting, Star Wars is very whatever, stuff just happens.
Yeah.
How long does it take us to get to hyperspace? I don't fucking know. Some nerds in the 80s wrote it when West End Games made the RPG. At no point has George Lucas actually ever bothered to say how fast hyperspace travel takes. Because he doesn't give a shit. Speed of plot. But when you're doing an RPG, especially an RPG like he said, that started at this exactly Millennium Falcon scale, you are 4 to 6 dudes in one, beater of a spaceship smuggling and hustling and selling crack cocaine, selling space crack out of the back of your van, you know, you do actually care about how long it takes you to get somewhere because you got to spend resources, and that's really fundamentally baked in the mechanics. So when you try and do this like macro scale war story, sometimes the infrastructure just doesn't line up, and we need to fudge stuff. Or if you're me, a lot of the time, I frequently say, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you make 120,000 credits. We talked about earlier about how you guys have like hit your like, I guess we call it like cap of inventory. Like, I don't think you guys are gonna go out and buy like Verpine heavy shatter rifles for everybody or whatever. Like, none of you are that interested in min-maxing your gear. Or if you are, like at times Axe or even I know Loth says he doesn't care about gear, but you definitely like shiny things. So you also carry a lot of shit in your kit. But you guys are full up. So, and Axe at least I know is like, he doesn't want to give up any of his shit. I've noticed Axe hasn't commented at all on your plan to make everybody strip out. He may or may not be okay with this. Then again, I don't know. He might actually have fun, like, going down to basics and, like, recontextualizing.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Actually, that reminds me. I never finished my point earlier. I was talking about him and, like, bombs, right? Because they're so heavy. He's not okay with this.
Well, get ready anyway, or you can sit at the shore and watch everyone else have fun.
Oh, God, that's so hilariously unfun. Sit on the boat and watch with your gun.
Why are we stripping? Because I want to actually have things be a challenge and not everything end with one shot.
I mean, like, Axe, you can view the entire backlog of the conversation that led to this. But what I was gonna say was about camo and bombs was, that was another thing I was like this started me on some of my procurement site. I was thinking about, like, it's always such a pain in the ass for Axe to actually carry enough bombs to do shit, right? Yeah, you only own 3. Like, that's not how Metal Gear Solid works with C4s. Snake finds a crate of like 6 C4s and he finds them all over the place because you need a lot. So, yeah. I was thinking about, like, gee, what kind of situations can I make where you guys can actually get bomby stuff to carry and go on, you know? And, like, that kind of led me to, like, thinking about this. And also just thinking about, like pragmatic stuff. Like, obviously, if you go to an enemy base, they're going to have boxes full of guns.
Yeah.
Right? They need guns for themselves. So you could take those guns. Maybe you don't want to take those guns because we joke about frequently about how shit the E5 is.
Yeah.
It's an awful gun. It's not... It's the most cookie-cutter piece of shit gun that, like, lowest common denominator.
Oh, excuse me.
But that does also leave opportunities to get other stuff. And sometimes, you know, you just got to follow the logic, right? If I want to do something interesting and funny with enemies, like I want to have, say, enemies equipped with vibro pickaxes. Yes, there's a stat line for the vibro pickaxe.
Yeah.
Well, this also means that there's probably going to be, like, racks or crates of vibro pickaxes lying around. Do I actually expect any of you guys to pick up a pickaxe and, like, try and take guys on? Probably not, unless you're, like, really, really naked. But logically, these things should be there. So, you know, we can turn this into fun opportunities for you guys to pick up shit and throw it around to be funny, even if it's only temporary.
Yeah. And as I said, that's what I want to do. I want us to take us out of our comfortable common element and maybe try to make us do something different.
And definitely, like I said way at the beginning, like, recentering your equipment is probably not a bad idea. Like, figuring out what you may or may not need for shit.
Like, just because, like,
you guys are pretty Billy Badass, you know?
Yeah, like, just because we carry all these things doesn't mean we actually need all these things.
Now, obviously, I will point out, I will play brief devil's advocate. Obviously, you, Lucky, are arguably a very privileged character in this sense because you have, like, 2 specializations built around fighting barehanded.
Yeah, maybe it's because I felt like maybe one day I wouldn't actually have a weapon, so I planned ahead.
But yeah, so but what I'm saying is a lot of your character elements are very inventory neutral.
Yeah.
You don't need shit to be really good at what you do. In fact, arguably, you are better when not armed with stuff. Yeah, you are the weapon. but there's certainly some wiggle room, like I said, to
Yeah,
boil
no,
this down
I'm
and
not
get in
saying I'm
there.
not saying that we're literally gonna strip naked and swim. No, we're just gonna go with a very much more basic outline of gear. So yeah, like maybe.
Well, and like I said, it makes sense if you guys are literally gonna swim ashore. Which I'm gonna be honest, without spoiling anything, and making you guys make rolls that I like to make you make because that lets funny stuff happen. Sorry, burpee. The stealthiest way to get on an island is probably to swim ashore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, you could drive a boat right up onto the beach, but then you're driving a boat right up onto the beach that has motors and shit and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't get much stealthier than swimming ashore.
Yep. So
And you guys have done aquatic ops before.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we'll get some nice like basic armor, nothing too crazy. Maybe have a knife and a gun, and maybe a few fun things in your backpack. But that's it.
Yeah, like we probably need to make sure that Boots can carry whatever his most basic form of med kit is, because you do actually take penalties if you try and do medical checks without tools.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure that Camo has some compact version of a toolkit so he can make mechanics checks.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Other than that, it'll probably be like, what do you absolutely need, because that's the shit you need to carry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty fair. If you take a blaster and a sword and you got your multi-tool, yeah. But like I said, we're stripping down your armor, too. You don't get your big fancy armor.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure his armor is actually very lightweight.
Yeah, I know, but I want to take him out of his element. I mean, I'll leave my fucking Jedi Commander armor behind. You know, that gets me up to...
Okay. Again, to play devil's advocate, Camo's armor is designed for him to sneak in. It's lightweight and is customized to be stealthy. There's doing like the thing. There's like trying to refocus, and then there's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. You know, if you're trying to go compact, he is already going in there with his like best design. Now Boots is gonna have a problem because we've just figured out he had a lot more customization slots than he thought he did. But if you make him switch to like stealth armor, that's gonna be a lot funnier. Optical camouflage.
Yeah. Well, like, my point is, I want us to all be on the same page. If Camo, who is, decidedly already sneaky, is already starting with a bigger advantage on everyone else, then we're not necessarily all on the same page, are we?
True. And we can figure out this more, like, in the actual gameplay and game plan.
Yeah. Because, like I guess then, I want to... oh, God, what's the best way... What's the... It's not weighted clothing. We're probably actually going to pull... Like, I want to pull something actually from the thing. Because what I want things to be more highlighted is not necessarily what we use, but how we use what we have. I believe, find what we have. Like, I want us to flex our minds and our skills rather than our gear.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say I want us to go down to something more basic and as something that everyone's more at. So yeah, even if Arma has a knife and a blaster, yeah, she'll still use her fist, but she won't be using her crush gaunts, which, oh Jesus, let's see, they're like +4 crit 2. They're scary.
Yes, you have Mandalorian power fists. They're very good.
Yeah. I was like, no, I'm eating those. My Jedi Commander order that lets me have up to like Soak 7 and has all these things that let me recover strains. Like, nah, it's gone. Like, how am I gonna do all the things that when I start my fucking strain train? I gotta think about that. Oh, is the raid over? God damn it.
Yeah, it ended a while back.
Now we're going.
And to be fair as well, the thing with like the like taking off your armor. I mean, if you the game isn't super clear on this, but technically you're not supposed to like take penalties to stuff until you go over your encumbrance level. That said, if you're carrying 20 encumbrance, which is like it's not a 1-to-1, but I think it is like maybe like 20 kilos of shit, and you're trying to unassisted free swim, you should probably take some penalties for that. Similarly, like for the most part, I don't really like be like, hey, how much battle rattle are you carrying around? Penalties to stealth checks. because you usually keep your shit stowed in like backpacks and bags. But that's also another thing is like, if you are actually trying to swim ashore and like do it stealthily, which is what it sounds like you're going to do, because it sounds like you're going to take like the 4 PCs and maybe some cloney boys for reinforcements, maybe. And at the very least, you're going to reconnoiter an entire base, if not actually like take it out, you know, Metal Gear Solid style. You would want to maximize stealth, because no matter how cool the numbers say your player character is, if I throw you down a mountain and have like 500 battle droids like all shoot at you, you die.
Yeah.
You're dead. It doesn't matter that I can't physically roll dice that say you die. At some point I just skip the dice and say, you've fallen into the lava pit, you're dead.
Oh. But yeah, like I said, we'll talk about it but again,
we'll talk about it on game, and we'll talk about it post game for sure, because we'll see how well it went.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that used about an hour of our time.
But yes, X, get ready to be uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, you're going ashore in a survival situation. You should probably be uncomfortable anyway.
Yes.
When was the last time you guys besieged a tropical island?
I don't know what we're gonna talk out, but okay. Are you gonna?
You guys have it hammered down what your idea is. Like you were still speculating last I checked in the chat about what you thought your limit would be. So
yeah, I will say this: there's gonna be a limit, X. Like, excuse me, sorry. That's like, I think it's super important that we get back. So, if you want to talk about what you can and can't carry, sure. Just don't think that I'm gonna give up on this idea. Just letting you know. No, it is a desire to reel back. It's literally that, Axe. Well, you probably missed that.
Yeah, I think Axe said he was half listening, and obviously he's leaving right now, so
yeah.
he's busy with stuff.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about it later. Oh. And for my part, I do think it's a little selfish on my part. I do think it is. I am literally like forcing my intensive wishes upon the party, and I'm probably going to be a little bit forceful in it, but I do think it's something that is important.
Oh, and also I want to say, like, you did not have this conversation in a vacuum.
No. Like,
you were bouncing your ideas off Marth talking about this. And
excuse me.
Technically speaking, I mentioned this before, but you guys are the generals. You're the leader characters. You have to make these decisions. Like, this is one of those things. Like, Axe and Loth, you know, playing the clone troopers, they have not shouldered the responsibility of mission planning and building stuff. And also that time you made them do that, was weird. We literally made an extra session out of how nonsense that went. So, it's what do we move? So like, yeah, you guys are taking the burden. So like this, you started this conversation by saying when you heard the prompt for the mission was like, hey, I want to try and do this simpler, and then I basically encourage you to double down on the simplicity, and you're like, nah, let's go way simple. Let's really focus this in. And there's definitely something interesting about that. Like heck, I mean, we really don't have any D&D. Though it's funny this comes up because we spent way too long in our D&D session this week, lamenting about the fact that we couldn't take our giant cart over a river. And like, we spent a lot of time agonizing about it. And I mean, I was just kind of like, whatever. Dallas, as he does, got a little volatile about the wanting the discussion to stop. He was like, yeah, if it had gone on too much longer, I was just gonna blow up the cart. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't have gone that far, but also I was absolutely gonna get a bit of rivers suck. Guys, have you ever tried to cross a huge flowing river? And I mean, this is the thing, like, and it boils down to some fundamental. Well, it's not BSX. The river's there. Like, this boils down to some fundamental game design decisions. Like, we're trying to cross the river. The river is there. And we talked about this after we thought about actually crossing the river. We're looking on the map, right? We have a map of this setting. It's been a while since I mentioned it, but this is the Wild Mount setting, so it's Critical Role setting we're playing in. No matter what we do and where we go next in our adventure, we must cross this river at some point. That's not how rivers work, but there is a giant river bisecting this continent section laterally, right?
Right.
So no matter what we do, we must cross the river. Now, technically, there was like a lake, but it's like way out of our way. There probably would be like a boat or something across the lake, but like, no, we got to cross this river. Well, it's in the middle of the cursed lost woods, so there's no bridge. So what do? Well, what we actually did was something that was still just as dumb. We had our sorcerer cast a spell to give herself Flame Stride, which is a new spell they're beta testing. It's Unearthed Arcana. But Robin, who's playing Karina, the Stork Rogue, loves to spend sorcery points to change the damage type, so he had her spend a sorcery point to make it, instead of Flame Stride, Ice Stride, right? Change it to cold damage. And literally Ice-manned her way across the bridge because, as a rogue sorcerer and catfolk, Karina is very fast. So that was our plan, but unfortunately, the way D&D describes water freezing, and this is actually true, flash freezing is really hard. You got to get really cold to do it. There was no way in hell we could make enough ice to get our giant cart, which was originally, by the way, an animal cart. Like, this was the D&D equivalent of a horse trailer. There was no way we could get it across the river. So we had a long discussion about hypothetically experimenting with it, but ultimately it was like, nah, we got to leave the cart. And I'm like, and I mean, we did finally. Axe was the most concerned, and he was the most concerned for a legitimate reason, though, which is his character, the Bard, has the shittiest strength score. I think he's like -2 or -1. This means that when it comes to carrying capacity and overland travel, he's awful at it, right?
Right.
Which in D&D does actually matter. Yeah, you're -2. You're 7 strength. Yeah. So the Bard is really, really weak. And I think the concern was from Axe was, well, without the cart, this means that I can't carry all my shit, my extra shit, and also if we have to travel overland, I'll die. And Vesper ultimately had to go. Vesper, our GM, had to go. I'm not so much like. I'm enough of an asshole that I will take away your cart because there's a river in the way, and I'm like, I don't care about that. The river's on the map. There's nothing we can do about the river. It exists. We can't. There's no point in playing in an established setting if you just paint out details you don't like, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in like removing the river because the river is annoying to us. It's D&D. We got to get out of the river. And now I wonder if we've been talking about tabletop too long. I've noticed that our viewer count seems to be going down a little bit.
I don't know. I just think honestly, people probably are just having to leave them for whatever reasons, or they're watching ads. I don't know.
It's true. They could be out. But like Vesper was like, no, it's not. I'm not actually gonna bother that. Also, there was some misunderstanding from all of us. Well, from most of us in the group. I actually never paid enough attention to the rules of D&D because I'm very baby at 5e. Well, you got to leave, Axe. You can listen to the archive. This is literally being recorded. You'll be fine. If you've got stuff to go do stuff.
Leave.
Prioritize. It's important. There was so much sidetracking. Technically, that was intentional. Like, I don't think Vesper really meant it as a stall, but I talked about this on Let's Talk as well. It turned into the thing of like, well, we've got another player coming back now that he's free after finals, so Vesper didn't want to do like a big fight or a big exposition scene, and then we literally next week get another guy and have to explain it all over again to him, which. As a permanent GM, I'm like, no, I completely understand this. That's bullshit. It's like when you split the party. That's really annoying. So, yeah.
Don't do that.
So I didn't mind stalling. Like I said, we did a guerrilla stream. We did Fail Portrayal again. Popular stream. People loved it. I will continue to do those irregularly as I see fit and as I have people available. Because there's nothing funnier than yelling at Yu-Gi-Oh! Card art and getting other people to yell at it. But, like... The other players were a little concerned about like how fast our overland travel rate was. Well, it turns out that apparently D&D is like dumb and doesn't really separate out like your combat speed from your non-combat speed. So actually like being on a horse or being on a cart doesn't necessarily make you faster per se as per raw, which is absolutely wrong, by the way. That's not how overland travel works. But I assume it's because a horse speed is a horse speed and they don't want you to like jump on a horse and gain a move speed of like 60 or something so you can cheeseball encounters, which is actually a legitimate concern for D&D, right? If you're designing D&D, you want to not make it so that players are like glued to horses because it's a perfect mechanical advantage or something dumb. Because people will be dumb.
Yes, they will.
So I understand the logic, but it's just very funny. So, like, we had a lot of lamenting from several people, like, both in and out of character. Like, out of character, I mentioned, Robin was like, I'm really mad on the cart. But he's like, but in character, Karina's really cut up about the cart. She loved the cart because she was our cart driver. She was our only character with vehicle proficiency. Skill proficiencies, by the way, in D&D, and tool proficiencies are dumb. You can actually get proficient with learning. Lucky, would you like to know the official timescale in D&D 5e for how long it takes you to pick up a skill?
How long?
I believe it's 250 days or something.
Yeah.
And you have to pay a skilled teacher 1 gold per day.
Yeah.
Like, which honestly, in terms of realism, isn't that crazy. That sounds like they're working back from the, like, 10,000 hours phase, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. But when in D&D do you have fucking 200 days to string together?
You never
like,
do.
The money isn't even a big deal. I literally joked about how we should retcon that I was, like, learning a skill from some of the other characters the entire time, but at the end of it, I would pay them the gold, because we're all made of fucking gold now. We're, like, level 8. But the physical time is just ludicrous. Ugh, it hurts me. But, yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, we've only been adventuring for about 3 months. So, like I said, after a lot of hemming and hawing and a little bit of soul pain, we did actually just give up on the cart and move over and get in there. And, like, we got through some stuff. I mean, I know Axe is listening. I don't want to daub on Axe too hard, but there was a little bit of the old Axe assuming. Axe, I'll say it to your face. You are bad at qualifying your opinions in a context and usually just take your assumptions at face value, and you will argue about your assumption for a good 10 or 15 minutes before actually bringing up the thing that you assumed, and we can correct it or reinforce it. Like, sometimes you got to just ask qualifying questions. And I don't mean qualifying questions about unrelated shit, because you do that to me sometimes, where you start talking about, okay, but hypothetically in this situation, like, no. Yeah, it's not a big deal, just occasionally you do get worked up about stuff, and it's like, okay, hold on. Everybody gets worked out about different things, though. In my game mastering years, I have dealt with different players get worked up over all kinds of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I have dealt with other players getting players worked up about things. Loth is in the stream chat now.
Why is he in the stream chat? Oh.
He's yelling about killing an old dude. He's having funny.
He's having the fun.
I have had players get upset at players, like I said. Like, I've mentioned this before.
Ooh, excuse me.
I mean, I don't want to say anything about... Are we having a bad Discord time? I know your internet exploded yesterday, Lucky, but some people have been having Discord trouble lately.
Oh.
I think they did an update recently, so they've been threading everything through. But I mean, I don't want to necessarily say this is any kind of judgment upon Lucky, but I've mentioned before that Lucky has definitely upset other players with actions.
Yes.
Because of your gung-ho-edness.
Yep.
But sometimes, I mean, honestly, I think the reason why I don't care is because I think I'm kind of the same way as a player. Like with the cart situation, I'm like, no, listen, my character is a rich noble who is a paladin. I don't give a shit about the cart. I give a shit about my magic horse that I summoned with Fine Steed, who I had to dismiss, and now I have to waste a fucking second-level spell slot in 10 minutes casting that spell again. Thanks, D&D.
Thanks.
Thanks for not making that easier, or making it so that paladins can ritual cast. Gotta use up a fucking spell slot for this. Well, yeah, you can't really make Lucky... Like, if you have a logical argument, I do this occasionally as a GM. If I think Lucky is, or anybody's about to do something boneheaded, I do my classic GM move. I turn to them and I'm like, okay, so you want to X, Y, and Z, which will possibly cause A, B, and C. Are you sure you want to do this? And sometimes Lucky thinks about those things I've said, and he goes, no, you're right, that's dumb.
And then other times be like, yeah, no, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
I'm like, okay, roll those dice.
Yep.
I always like, as the game master, to double-check with the player character that they understand what they are attempting to do, how difficult it will be, and what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, a lot of game systems should encourage you to know all these things before you roll dice, because dice are inherently chaotic and random. So,
and, also, an Axe, to your point, like I said, you're always free to argue. But if you can't change my mind, that's probably because whatever you were trying to argue either makes no sense, or I think, you know, what's the word? Either makes no sense or isn't better than what I got planned in one way or another.
Yes. From an argumentation perspective, like just saying, okay, but could we not do that because it's scary or something? That doesn't hold any weight. That's you know, we're playing a make-believe elf game, so that doesn't matter. Another common joke about role-playing games I've heard, you know, playing elf games. And there are times when you can have logical arguments. Axe is still here. Didn't you say you had to leave?
No, we got Axe talking. Now he must keep talking.
Yeah, he's in the argument now. Then there are other times where, like logically, Axe, you can make the logical argument, well, we shouldn't leave all our shit behind because it lets us do lots of different things and is very good. But the problem with that is Lucky's argument is, yeah, that's exactly what I want us to leave all our shit behind. I want us to actually, like, have chances to fail at stuff and do more interesting things, and also, like, focus on doing things with our, you know, our brains and our skills, not just because we have this gadget that does this thing. Like, if you're going to swim ashore, it's unfortunate. You should probably leave your jetpack. Also, you may want to leave your jetpack anyway, because I'm not sure if those things are waterproof. The fact that will deprive you of your jetpack missiles, which will conveniently blow up small armored targets, is just a fact. It's just a thing that happens.
Yeah.
I gotta be real. I mean, not once again on my giving a shit scale. Not that I actually give a shit if you guys find squads of B1 droids challenging, right? And I don't even know if stripping you out of your, like, literally, I think if all of you could actually roll dice to punch them, you would probably win a fight with B1 droids barehanded. They're bad. They're really bad. They're dumb. But definitely, it would make you do a lot more interesting things if you actually thought of it as a challenge and had to problem solve a little.
Yeah, well, that's it. Ooh. And Act, you say it took you so long, but remember, technically all this gear is ephemeral.
I mean, you don't have... Do you have cortosis on your armor?
Who?
I could probably... Axe.
Oh, yeah.
I could probably... Wait, can I sunder armor? I can probably sunder armor.
I can sunder his armor with my fist.
No, I'm just like... I can break your shit if I feel like it. That's not hard.
Yeah.
I usually don't just casually break the player's shit for no reason, though, because that's mean. But, like, in terms of a challenge thing...
But, like, this is why I'm, like, this is one of the things I'm getting at of, like, too attached to stuff. I'm like, no, I'm literally just being like, no, I'll jump to my skivvies and I'll fight this fucking, island, barehanded. One, because
You'll fight the entire island. It's actually a giant tortoise.
No, I'm not gonna break your shit, but, like, this thing I'm saying is, like, your shit can go at any time for any reason.
Arma's super special gauntlets are literally damaged right now. That's how we started this conversation.
Yeah.
Now, you can fix that fairly simply, but still.
I'm not.
You've broken your unbreakable Mandalorian gloves several times.
Yes. Funnily
enough. Hold on, lots saying things. Is it time to start quoting 14 memes?
No.
Yes, I do believe that means you're vulnerable to sundering.
Yeah, no,
Loft. How about I actually try? Yeah, Loft did it.
But
shit's breakable, man.
Again, I'm not saying you're gonna go without weapons. I'm just gonna say you're gonna go without the things that lets you one-shot things, hide in fucking plain sight, and all the nice little nifty things that make you kind of a pain for enemies to deal with.
Well, and also, I believe you said this earlier, you're talking about this in the sense of, like, also dealing with everybody. Because, I don't know, in a mission context, if one guy's super invisible, that doesn't really help those people who aren't super invisible. This is usually why I make you guys roll stealth shit separately.
Yes, but you're going to be in the stealth stuff that everyone is using.
Like, I already talked about this because
Yeah.
we had some hiccups in terms of like game design where it was like, oh, we could do this, we could do that. Like Martha's thinking about like his character's code of honor, one of her literal motivating factors of like, can I do a sneaking mission, or you know. All right, well I guess I've just gotten him started. He's fucking started.
You started.
Fucking stop me. But like, a part of this conversation started because I was like, okay, you can do whatever you want. Don't split the party, please. You're gonna kill me. You're gonna murder your GM. Like that was how this conversation started because Martha was like, maybe I'll be a distraction and you guys can do the sneak thing, and I'm like, please don't do that. No, don't do that. That's always a huge pain in the ass for me. It's so inefficient. So like if camo is like invisible sneakman, if you're literally playing the Metal Gear game with the stealth camo, because you beat it without an alert phase or whatever, that doesn't really help the other player characters in terms of their stuff. And before you ask, Axe, no, you can't just make their stealth checks for them. That's not how this works. That's not science. You can't sneak for other people. Actually, this is a good question. Can you... Does Mission Specialist, for instance, extend to stealth checks?
I do not believe so.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Like, it's knowledge, mechanics...
You can do a different formation to get, like, a boost die on stealth checks.
Yeah, that's, I thought I remembered it, but I don't.
Sneak mode, run silence.
Yeah, it's run silent, calm silent. That's what it's called.
Something like...
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you... No, I will absolutely reward self-sabotage.
Listen, we're literally checking the boxes for increased challenges for increased rewards. Well, I don't know if increased rewards, but I'll feel good. Oh, that's what Lost said.
Oh. I mean, there... Hey, Axe, spoilers. This isn't a podcast world. There's no actual mechanic for Loft to, like, hinder you. Other than Loft just being an asshole. And...
I mean, if Loft is like...
Generally, I don't reward players for just being assholes to each other.
No. Like Axe, like
that's Loft's choice if he just wants to be obstinate. But
again, like Axe
all of you guys have been obstinate about stuff at different times. Yes, even you, Axe. Everybody's been obstinate about something.
Yes.
Sometimes it's dumb. Sometimes I don't care. And sometimes I think it's valid if you're really upset about something. But like, I don't know, man. Maybe with certain games, like with like our Eclipse Phase experience, I know that as much as Lucky you like stuff and are very defensive about your stuff sometimes.
Yes, I am.
I think you know, and I don't want to say, oh, I condition you, but I think we've built a mutual understanding over our years of gaming that also your physical things are, like you said earlier, are ephemeral. They're just stuff. They can break at any time. They can get stolen. They can go away. Now, okay, Axe, why do you phrase this as Lucky trying to feel better? Like, this is an Axe language question.
Yeah.
Like, there's no guilt. Lucky doesn't give a well, Lucky may give a slight fuck that he one-shots enemies or that he is super powerful or whatever. I don't think he really gives that much of a fuck, though. Like, no, he just thinks it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's neat. And I'm like, hey, I mean, that's possible. That is... I didn't necessarily write it with the idea that you would go with more limited gear, but I did write the practical solutions and like approaches, and like, you guys know me, I will be like, okay, so let me get this straight. You're carrying how many kilograms of shit and you want to go swim ashore in your non-amphibious armor? All right, buddy, good luck with that. And obviously the clones are probably super good at swimming, so they'd make it anyway, but I don't have to worry about that.
Again, Axe, like, I can turn this on its head right back at you. Why are you so afraid of giving up your armor?
There's nothing to fear.
It's like, what are you afraid of, Axe?
This has become our new watchword for gaming. What are you afraid of?
I think it really has. I mean, it's on point.
Well, yeah, it's phrasing it as "what are you afraid of" really does cut to the question. Like, and your response can be, "Well, I'm not really afraid of anything," but like, it still works out to get to the core because people are it makes people think.
Because, like, I'll say, like, Ramen is like, yes, I am actually... I am a little tired of us getting into a combat and then us just going ham on it. Like, again, like case in point, fucking the fight. Like, that was supposed to be a big climactic battle. You strolled up to it, took a shot, it was done. I'm like, I literally had to ignore the boss for 2 rounds and fight some other dudes just so this would not end.
Well, I mean, you were very polite.
Yes.
The boss was like, "Excuse me a moment," and you were like, "Yeah, no problem, fam."
Yes, but this is the thing, again, another thing that you wanted, and you're like, I want that. I want to do stuff with that. Like, as I said, at no point are you forced to use that object. You wanted to do a cool thing, and your cool things are usually, I want to end this super, super fast so I don't get hurt because I hate getting hurt because I might die. What is failing? Oh god, keep it away from me.
I mean, we did not... Nobody told you to get the better one. I recommended, like, because you had a basic jetpack, I was like, there is a military one that has missiles, if that's up your alley.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, that sounds cool. And you asked me a lot of clarifying questions about what kind of missiles can I do? What kind of different stuff can I do? And then you chuckle to yourself, I can do a lot of dumb stuff with this. I can buy all kinds of crazy. That's you. You're chuckling things. You're thinking to yourself about how cool it'll be when you drop a double ion missile and make a guy explode. Well, even if that's why Lucky's in placing the handicap axe. Even if you don't think about ending the encounter or avoiding the encounter, now you can't. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't avoid the encounter. Also, I mean, I gotta be real. You guys are crazy overblown. Like, what are you gonna roll to sneak? Nobody has any. Well, some enemy templates have perception. I do believe perception should usually be stealth rather than vigilance.
Lava is still on Final Fantasy memes. It's great.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, I've noticed something. Do all areas in? I don't think I've ever noticed this. Do all areas in 14 have the little blue dots to the next zone?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, well maybe I am exaggerating a little bit, but still, you still have your axisms of you don't like to fail, so you'll absolutely maximize your gear to get the maximum amount of bonus, so you will not fail, much to the detriment of everyone. Well, I won't say everyone else's enjoyment, but usually to the detriment of the encounter, which we were hoping for maybe to be a little bit more cinematic and climactic.
Yeah, and I mean, Axe, like, yeah, I got the tapes, buddy. You absolutely have done the haha, this is so cool. Like you. And like you have very frequently been like, man, I wish I could just shoot that guy. Like literally during that process, you were like, oh, can I get an angle? I want to snipe the commander out the window. And I'm like, well, no, you can't get an angle because it's a flying siege tower that's like way up there. But also, why would you do, right? Like if that's not shortcutting the encounter, I don't know what is. Also, it wouldn't have done anything because they can still they're not like a hive mind. They can still push the button forward to shoot him even if you shoot the guy. It just didn't make sense though because he's in an armored siege tower, dozens of meters in the air. Law's just giving us the chuckles. He's dispensing chuckles like they're candy. And I mean, I'll say this, I'm in 2 groups with you, Axe, and if I didn't want to deal with you, I would just be like, Axe, don't show up to gaming today. Axe, your reason to be at gaming is not to contribute anything. Your reason to come into gaming is to come here and have a fun time. It hasn't happened well, no, actually, fuck it. It happened last time. That was basically all role-playing and logistics. There was very little dice rolling and very, very little mattering in the dice rolling, right?
Right.
Like, we have sessions all the time where people just chill. In D&D as well, we've absolutely done sessions where we did nothing but roleplay. But, like, there's something to be said for, like, existing in there and just listening to people and hanging out. And,
Ooh, excuse me.
Sometimes you're a listener and sometimes you're not. Like, you don't got to be forefront in every conversation. Like, look at Marth. I played a lot of games with Marth. He's usually a quiet background guy. Like, he thinks his thoughts and he does his own things and he makes his characters. And there are times when he gets really excited to, get out there and do his thing. But other times he's completely set back He's written characters that have been at complete odds with our other characters. You know, I think Lucky skipped most of this, but in early Metahuman Renaissance, there was a lot of tension because Boris was technically a criminal vigilante, and he was really bad at separating out that part of his backstory from the other guys, and like,
Axiom.
well, that and Feng and Vera were very heavy-handed.
Axe, you can't say you don't break games. The damage scaling is is kind of bad, but every time, like I said, you take basically. Remember when you had the twin guns? Remember we had to literally talk you down from that? Because you would fire a shot, do high amount of damage, then take an immediate second shot and do another high amount of damage. And we're like, Axe, no, stop, please.
Well, and also, I mean, Axe complained about how much he got murdered back for that, but that's what happens.
Oh my god, don't blame your fucking tree for what you do, Axe.
You don't have to do those things, though. Like, just because it's in your tree doesn't mean, like if you had a talent tree that gave you, like, an ability to, like, self-destruct like a Pokemon, does that mean you have to self-destruct, Axe? No, like, you still make the decisions. Like, it's about the role-playing. And I know you've talked about how, and I understand this, like, I know Loth has this problem sometimes, too. Like, playing a clone trooper role-playing-wise is weird. I get, like, both of you guys have talked to me about how sometimes it's very weird to, like, find a character for your characters.
Mm.
It's why Boots' characterization is a lot of just Loth makes jokes.
What to do?
Well, yeah, you embraced your genericness, but also, yeah, it makes playing a character hard a little times. But like, you can be more than what the sheet says, you know. You've got a lot of different options, and I know you can because I've talked about this with you before. I actually think your D&D character is, considering we're playing D&D, the most vanilla ass, generic ass RPG. Like, you've done some really interesting things with the way your character is written, and like, I know you've kind of struggled with how to like communicate the depths of your character to us at times, but like, I have had this conversation with you. The thing with like Gabriel versus Naki and like being two people but also being one person, like, you actually have some interesting moods and moments. And is Naki kind of an asshole? Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, we're D&D adventurers. We've all done asshole things. I'm a warrior for God, but like, you can do more than what your character sheet just says. Like, you like I said, you've shown me you can do that with D&D. Sorry, I leaned over a little because my mic thing was kind of being.
Like, Axe,
being
like,
competent doesn't always look bad.
No.
Sorry, go ahead, Lucky.
And like, Axe, like, you talk about like wanting to do things. Like, I always like try to like want to say like, you don't necessarily need to do the things that like. Oh god, how do I want to say this? You
don't need to do the thing to solve the problem right away.
Exactly, there we go. Like, for example, you said you wanted to like shoot out the commander because you wanted to feel useful. Like, something you could have done. You could have said, hey, I'm gonna go grab a bunch of commandos, we're gonna grab a bunch of bombs, and we're just gonna go like set up some fucking traps in the fields to blow up tanks as they drive up over them. And you know, you would have got to blow stuff up. You would have. Do I actually have that? Please tell me I still have it. The guy from Atlantis, where he just blows up the bomb and has the biggest grin. Y'all know, you know the. Yeah, there it is. I do got it.
And that was kind. I mean, it didn't happen that way because you guys. It did kind of like you came at it from different. It wasn't a pre-prep thing, though. I do believe we did have Camo set the initial mines, but during that fight, you did lead commandos to kind of like go in there.
Okay,
well, I know some people are bad with open-ended choices.
Here's the thing. Here's what I want you to do. Anytime you don't know what to do, I want you to, in character, hit your mic and be like, Commander, orders. And I'll give you something to do.
That is actually the beautiful thing about being a chain of command. You don't have to think if you don't want to.
No,
you can just be like, I'm not sure what I should be doing in this situation. What do you guys think would be my best move right now?
But here's the thing, Axe. You have to do it in character. You can't be like, Lucky, what do I do? You're not be like, no. call me. Yes.
What am I doing here, boss? What are we
Mhm.
doing here, thing? What the fuck is this taken from?
I'm pretty sure it's taken
What?
from.
I mean, I know it's a Star Trek, but I'm like, what's the context of this really scene?
I'm pretty sure it's Riker and I can't remember. It was Riker and someone else.
What's the God? I'd have to know what series it is to know what the yellow means. They changed what the fucking colors mean. The resolution's too low. I can't see the rank pips. Yeah, I'm a huge nerd. I might be able to guess what rank people are in Star Trek. No, it's fine.
But
I'm just like, you've shown me this image a lot, and I'm just like, what? Hold on, wait a minute. What's the original context of this?
Well,
I mean, I love the joke. Are you two friends? Yes. No.
but like, acts like the thing is, and so, like I come to like I said, this is where I'm talking about me being a little selfish here. I go to gaming because I want to. This is how I relax and have fun and whatnot. And I play Star Wars for Kino. The best way to put it. I'm in
Cinema.
for the cinema. I'm here for epic battles. I'm either for like close personal battles of like some shit you see at like the final episode of a Trigger anime. Big, huge battles where wherever we're screaming, where everyone's screaming. Like thrilling set pieces, high stakes chases. All that crazy fun stuff. So
all the dumb cinema pulp shit that George Lucas thinks about.
So like when I play, like no, I'm not necessarily like honestly, like most cases our mod can do what you can. Like I literally have the ability to, I think it's add like 4 damage just straight off, plus my cleanse gaunts, my strength, the force dice, plus like improved precision.
You can murder some dudes.
I can murder some dudes, but usually I like give him a tap first, and Omega will say, oh, like he's like down to like I'm like, okay, he can take another tap. I will purposely slow my damage just so they can swing back a few times.
And also, I mean, you've made this make sense from a character perspective. You are a Jedi martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you don't need to go full bore and like explode everybody's skull in one punch.
Yeah.
You don't need to become One Punch Man.
No.
But when you realize that enemies can take punishment, and often these enemies are about to take more punishment, I don't know if you've ever punched a guy and had him go, ooh, okay, I'm done. Like, unless he's literally passed out. Like, unless you literally one punch him.
Yeah.
I mean, also, Axe, I feel like, once again, you're doing that thing I talked about earlier where you're throwing a lot of heavy speculation into this. You are assuming a lot of things and, like, interweaving that into your statements, which becomes kind of leading. Like, again, I don't think Lucky has any, like, pride or stubbornness in this, other than the pride or stubbornness you're giving him because you're putting that energy on him.
Yeah.
Like, just you... Axe, I'll say this. You're a bad matchup with all people who have contrary impulses because you don't know how to handle that. You just assume shit, and that makes other people ticked off and makes them dig in. Yeah, like, I've done it before. I know times I'm stubborn. Lucky's stubborn at times. Yeah. Sometimes we're stubborn at each other.
It's great.
But, like,
okay, it's not great, but...
you have a very bad way of navigating these verbally, and it does the wrong move to set people off. Like... Yeah, well, I've said this. Everybody in the group has been obstinate about something. Axe has been obstinate about specific things before. Mark's been obstinate about stuff. I know Loth has been dumb obstinate about shit before. And, like, I'll say this. We've talked shit on like, Loth for, like, being obstinate about not giving a fuck about his gear.
Yeah.
Like, the reverse of, I think, Axe, sometimes how you and Camo interplay together, where, like, sometimes we're a little harsh on you because you're a little too specific about your gear and, like, having your best outcome gun or whatever. Like, and even just other gear stuff. Like, I know you've kind of walked about that stuff, but also, like, we've absolutely been like, Loth, come on, this is basic baby stuff, and you're like, and Loth will be like, you're right, it is basic baby stuff. I don't give a fuck. I'm not changing anything. It's like, okay, I'll fix it for you. We'll fix it in post. Because Loth's not afraid to give up that control as a player, but there are times when he's just like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that as me. And basically he challenges us, the rest of the players, to be like, if you give so much of a shit about it, you do it. And absolutely players like Axe and Lucky will be like, "You're right, I do give a fuck, actually." This literally bothers me. Yes. Which can be a positive force, because like, so long as like I said, so long as Loth doesn't feel bothered about the idea of people having that input, like he's not really dug in on deliberately being bad. He's just dug in on like, nah, I don't care. Yeah, people are like, can we make this better? And you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Well, also, I can also understand what okay, so here and what you just said, Axe. This is one of my character flaws here. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm fiercely independent. I mean this quite literally. I don't like asking for help. And I generally do not look well upon those who have unconditional kindness. I don't. And I have the unfortunate habit of kind of trying to push that ideal onto other people, which being independent, thinking for yourself, doing things for yourself. So yes, there are several times where I'll be like, Axe, do something, and you're like, what? And I'm like, do something, because again, this is a personal flaw of mine. I fully understand this, and I don't think I'm necessarily gonna change, because everyone is made up of I totally lost my train of thought there, but like I said, that's my fault.
I do want to say, while we can say, it's definitely a you thing, it's a character flaw or whatever. Usually in those moments, you're not very picky with people when they do something, right?
Yeah.
Like, very rarely have you been hypocritical about it and been like, do something. I didn't want you to do that.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Usually you don't, when you're like, just do anything. You genuinely are just like, no, do anything. I don't care.
Also, Axe, stop calling yourself a right-hand person. You're not.
It's a very weird way to phrase it, yeah. And I mean, I'll say this the other way. This is how everybody goes to gaming for different things.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of people, and I've heard stories about all kinds of games. There are lots of people who go to gaming to just unwind and relax and not think about stuff. For instance, big brain boy Travis Willingham, in Critical Role's first campaign, he played a barbarian with negative int called Grog. His character role-playing, from the clips I've seen, because I haven't gone through the whole first campaign. You think I'm made of time? I haven't even caught up with their second campaign, their current one. But most of his role-playing was just me, Grog, me talking funny voice, and then in a fight, I would like to rage and smash stuff. Like, he was new to D&D, and he played a simple character who did but simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people who go to gaming to kind of like unwind and relax in that way. Like, I know a lot of people who are not stupid in real life or anything, but they're like, yeah, I have shit to stress about in my real life. I'm not here to stress about shit. Now, people can obviously take what context from that you will, that like me and Lucky are out here and we're in our relaxing, happy, fun time, and that's with like logistics and planning horrible missions to throw people through and other stuff.
I find colony dev sim quite invigorating, and
I mean, it's basically at times we're basically playing like turn-based strategy.
Yeah.
Or a very weird form of RTS where the real time is really real time in our real time, and we spent 4 hours working on a project.
But
so like I understand, Axe, if you're like, yeah, but I'm kind of coming to game to relax and not focus on that. But then that kind of takes me to the like, okay, then maybe you should be more relaxed about Camo. Like you said to yourself, okay, but I want Camo to be competent. Camo should know what he's doing, but I, Axe, don't. And I'm like, okay, then maybe you should relax a little. And like, I'll say this, if Lucky's like, okay, but ask me in character, I don't have a character. I'm God. Hi. You can always turn to your Game Master and be like, Game Master, I don't know what I should be doing right now. And your Game Master should be equipped to like look at the entire back catalog of your character and roughly what you're capable of doing and going like, well, you're good at this, right? Couldn't you do that thing? Or like, lore-wise, your character would know blah, 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 stuff like that. Yeah. Like, you should always feel free to turn to your Game Master, because that's what he should be here for. He should be here to like referee the story and like be there to provide your character with knowledge that you as the player don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So I always feel like I'm ready as a GM to answer those questions from players. And if I'm not, I am fully prepared to make some shit up.
Sometimes best to wing it. Well, I wouldn't necessarily put it like that way, but I would ask Omega for some options.
There's definitely a version of that question which comes up. Like that's always a joy when players do actually be like, "Hey, GM, what did you actually prepare for this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I wrote a this thing or that thing. Okay, we'll do that."
Yeah,
you guys have done that occasionally.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say we don't say it exactly like that, but no, like, because that's the other thing. It's like, yeah, like Omega puts like times this. I want to experience all that this has to offer. So,
like when you guys literally went back upstairs in the Resident Evil house to go explore it, because even though you had no reason to, because you accidentally did the thing where you skipped straight to the boss fight. You were like, no, but you wrote a whole Resident Evil house. I want to poke it. And I'm like, okay, we'll poke it. And then one of you almost got crushed by a statue. Somebody almost got set on fire. I think a couple of you guys are still weirded out by that fireplace trap. Like, they're still talking about the fireplace trap to this day. Which, if you haven't watched the AP, watched or listened to the APs, first of all, shame on you.
Shame.
But second of all, what I did was I designed a literal Resident Evil house full of traps, and one of them was in the study. There was a fireplace that was, like, burnt down to embers. But what was in it was rigged like a high-pressure fan.
Mm-hmm.
So that it would, if somebody stepped on the rug, which concealed a pressure plate, it would suddenly jet out like high pressure oxygen over fire, which would make basically a tiny flamethrower. And I don't remember which one of you did, but somebody noticed there was some smudges around the fireplace, and I think they might have thought it was like a secret passageway or something, and they totally accidentally stepped on the pressure plate and nearly got set on fire. I did some stuff with mono wire in that house as well. Monofilament wires are always a favorite trick of mine. I don't know if I've ever... actually, no, I think I did get you to stumble face first into mono wire. You specifically, Lucky.
Yeah, because that was the room that had a key on the hecking table or something.
Yeah.
And there was a couple ways to do it. Like...
And speaking of which, one of those things was after... Well, we're gaming tomorrow, Axe, so we can talk some of the back and forth over this and kind of work on that.
Yeah, no, that was your guys' plan. We'll talk about it tomorrow, Axe. Just make sure you remind me to talk about it.
Yeah. And I mean, I do want to say, I do think at the very least, Axe, you've corrected some behaviors. Like, talking about, like, the dual-wielding thing. Like, I think that was a conscious decision on your part to go. Well, actually, no, not even, like, one. But basically... This dual-wielding thing causes me both emotional pain and also physically harms my characters because I'm constantly drawing aggro. I'm gonna not do it even though I could do it because I don't actually have to go that ham.
No.
Like, you as a person developed that knowledge based on your experience. Very rarely was I like, technically I would be like, okay, you don't have to do the double skill check thing, right? But it costs you resources, so I didn't ever be like, no, don't do that. Stop that. You were like, okay, the other people in this game don't like it, and also it puts me in bad situations. I'm going to focus on doing something different. So yes, even if Axe is not still here, you can listen back to the recording, and I said that you do actually improve. Like, I think everybody's kind of, like, improved or honed in on their things through this. That's, gaming is constantly, like, I mean, I wouldn't say that, like, you, Lucky, or Marth, who I have gamed with a lot, have, like... changed a lot, but I definitely think, like, at times you guys have thought about your characters and your gameplay, and, like, we've had moments of, like, realizing, oh, I definitely want to do this, or, like, actually, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different this time. Like, actually kind of, like, going in there. Well, I think we're winding down. Because we mentioned a Resident Evil house, so I think that means we can move on to another thing people care about.
Yep. Yeah, let's cut the tabletop. Because honestly, most of this table talk has just been us talking / yelling at Axe.
Basically, you guys have had a live one-sided AP conversation. Basically, the moments we have on mic on between. So if you like this kind of stuff, listen to the APs, you monster.
Monster.
I'm not afraid to aggressively shill. But a thing that we should at least mention is the fact that to pivot after talking about role playing for like 2 hours.
Wait, why did I come here again?
Why did you?
Shit, I forgot.
Why are we here? It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. All the real talk, guys. If you're gonna cry, just fucking cry, man. I bawl sometimes. Can't handle it. Just have a good cry. Dang, get up.
No, it wasn't a Metal Gear Solid quote, Loth, though. Good action.
Good action.
Good energy. Yeah, no, I mean, like, if you're to not go to Resident Evil 8, but to talk about more real life shit, like, nah, if you feel like crying, just fucking cry. Like, as a person, I don't cry. That was like a conscious decision I made when I was younger because I cried a lot. Like, I was a very emotional kid. I was a little emotionally volatile. I have at points in my life basically literally gone berserk. Like, I have been so emotionally distraught, I have been reduced to incoherent rambling and, clawing and biting at people. As a small child, obviously, because, it was before I was a full-grown human being. But, like, at some point in my life, I was like, to me, stop fucking crying. It's like that song, Why You Always Lying? So it's just like, nah, I just don't do it anymore. Like, I still feel super emotional about stuff. Like, hey, you know how I know that Naruto is on Netflix, guys? It's because I've been watching Naruto again, like some kind of animal. And I'm watching early seasons of Naruto, and I'm not getting, like, literally crying, but I'm getting, like, emotions are in my eyes, and I'm like, man, this is such basic bitch shit, but I guess it's the nostalgia.
Axe, where are you listening to this? Because it doesn't say you're in the recording channel. And oh wait, we have ultra low. Oh, are you? I can't kick you out of the fucking stream. Damn it! Because I'd be like, go do your thing. Fuck.
The segment is done, Axe. You should
go.
Stop being on Discord and talking to us, even if you're taking us in our phone. Go do your thing. You said you need to leave. Go do it. You're harming yourself. Stop self-harm.
Stop.
Which, by the way, is a rating on Netflix of Naruto. It's very interesting. There's no TV-14 for violence. It's specifically for self-harm, which does happen a lot, by the way, in early Naruto, now that I think about it. And smoking. Smoking is the other big thing, which also happens a lot in early Naruto, if you didn't know. There's a lot of people smoking. Hokage's always on that pipe. He's always hitting the back. Anyway,
why did I come
but
here?
no, what I was saying was, like, if you feel emotionally like crying, just let it fucking out. Don't hold your emotions in. That's bad.
No. It's good. It's good catharsis.
Let out the flow.
Like, what I tell people is, like, if you feel like crying, if you feel emotional, get those emotions out. Let it cry. Feel grief. Feel sad. Feel anger. But after you let it out, whatever was causing something, do something about it.
Yeah, these days my like emotional catharsis is usually like pacing, deep breathing, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really shouldn't because it's murder on my hands, which are very important to me. But I have been known occasionally to slam things.
Mm-hmm.
I punch pillows occasionally. Like, you just got to get the energy out of you.
Get it out.
Much like we have to get out of tall lady vampire Demetriou's house in Resident Evil 8 Village.
Nice segue.
I brought it around, Lucky.
You brought it around.
So RE8 is out.
It's out.
And people have already beaten it.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
Apparently it's actually, it's designed to be a shorter replayable game.
That's absolutely.
I think there's an Achievo, an in-game Achievo for beating it in 3 hours.
Oh, that's wild.
I think it's called Dashing Dad or something.
Well,
yeah, they got funny names for all this.
And I do know there has been a little bit of a argument, a discussion, a debate.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody like super negative about it, but people are definitely discussing the fact that it's possible to play the game shortly. I see Axe typing. Go. We're talking about Resident Evil. Go. Scooch.
But yeah, so apparently it's out. I hear it's pretty good. Everyone's really remarking about how it brings back those RE4 feels, like, as I fucking called. Yep. I do know, I heard there is some disappointment that Lady Domestica is not actually all throughout it. She's just in one part.
Nah, it makes sense though.
It makes sense.
That's pretty typical.
It's pretty typical, but again, I think someone put it since Bez that Capcom was not necessarily prepared to handle how popular their character would be, despite her having such a small part. It's just that image of oh god, someone on your.
I mean, there's an in-game model viewer.
Yeah.
And you can purchase Lady Geometrica's model and look at her.
All you want. I don't know. Well, like I said, I kind of feel like I've missed the Resident Evil buzz, because we were talking about maybe doing the stream, but that kind of fell through. And I'm just like,
Yeah, because you've been busy. I mean,
am
I
busy.
think we can still get to it at some point.
Yeah.
Because those games do seem neat. And especially if, like, 7 and 8 aren't, like, super long. That makes it much easier to stream.
Yeah, it does.
But we're probably going to miss the initial buzz, but that's okay. It's fine. We do stuff because we want to do them, not just because they're popular.
Yeah, maybe we'll make it Halloween.
Like, spoilers, guys. I'm not gonna stream Mass Effect. There's way too much game of Mass Effect to stream.
That's way too much game.
But no, I'm glad that people like the game. This may technically be a quote unquote spoiler, like a gameplay spoiler, but I've heard from people who beat the game, if you beat it, you do unlock Mercenaries.
Yeah.
The Mercenaries is back. I don't remember if that was public knowledge or not, but that's cool.
Well, I know they said the Mercenaries mode was coming back. I wasn't necessarily know how to get it back though, so yeah.
Yeah, but you beat the game apparently. And it seems like it's got some replayability, which is a pretty key factor. And I talked about this a little bit with people off mic in our Discord. I do actually think that, like, replayability is the key factor. Like, games are getting more expensive. Yes, there's sales and stuff usually, but, like, the net price of games is going up to it's only gone up like $10, but it's going up, right?
Right.
$70 is a decent investment. You should still feel rewarded for your investment. And I know people want to be like, yeah, man, but the market for video games is way bigger, and the staff is way bigger, and the tech is way more advanced. And I'm like, okay, but just because your game has prettier graphics and a shiny new engine you spent thousands of hours building doesn't make it automatically worth more money, right? I understand that technical value may have a higher cost, but that doesn't mean that it's worth more money to the consumer, right?
Right.
And that's what talking about price point is like. I do think games can be short. As much as I have played some bangers of, over 100 hours in games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even that being like single player games, not like ongoing games and shit, games as a service or whatever. But like, I like some long games. I also like short games. I like games I can beat in a reasonable time frame. I think the key thing there is that you have to get something out of playing the game. The experience has to be worth it. Either has to be like so good an experience that even if it's short, that singular experience is worth it, or it's something you can experience over and over again and do different things with, right?
Like, I won't necessarily call it a short game, because there wasn't much, but like, I want to harken to fucking 13 Sentinels here. By the stretch of imagination, it's not a complex or long game. It's really not. And most of it is, I mean, it's like, it's not a...
You do have to stretch your brain a little bit. Mostly that's just the way they built out the story. Like, if you can... Once you actually get a chance to look at the story from A to B, it's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah, but like, playing that game was an experience, and I literally tell this is the one bad thing about 13 Sentinels. The worst thing about 13 Sentinels is you can only play it once for the first time.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games, or one of those pieces of media.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things you can only watch once for the first time. You can only have that first experience.
Yeah.
I have that experience with a lot of books. There are some TV and anime series that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
What? We didn't lie on the floor and cry over Devilman for an hour once.
No.
But that definitely didn't happen. That's not on our channel.
Yeah, so, but like, if I can get like, because here's the thing, if it's short, but it gives me like a huge emotional payoff, I don't give a fuck that it was short.
No, it's you're paying for the emotional experience.
Yeah.
Which has a different level of value, but that's not inherently. Games can give you emotional experience and not require tens of thousands of people and man hours and have the latest shiny graphics. They're fucking 2D basic bitch games. I'm absolutely, by the way, thinking of Undertale right now.
Yeah, me too. Okay, but by the way, okay, good. High five. We were in the same fucking place.
Yeah, Undertale. That was made by what, like a one guy, small team?
It was a small team. It was like one, like Toby Fox was in the main team, but he had help.
Main dev, a couple of artists, stuff like that. Yeah.
Another game that put Lucky on the ground for a fucking hour after he was done with it.
Yeah, no, like and that's a game that I'm pretty sure is not super expensive. It's not $70. It's still a good game, and it's probably worth more, It's like, if anybody ever asked me, Omega, why do you buy Okami all the time? It's because Okami's fucking good. I love Okami. I don't care that it's not super pretty, cutting edge, realistic, and the physics are weird. I love Wolf Draw game.
Wolf Draw game story goo.
Yeah. And I want those guys to have more money. And I do know that they are hypothetically working on a future adventure on the IP. I would love to see it, guys. Call me. Maybe at E3. E3 is gonna be weird this year. They've got a lot of people on tap.
Mm-hmm.
They still, I believe, EA and Sony are still out, but they got a lot of other developers. Square Enix has said they're gonna show some stuff.
I'm excited. Hopefully we get more 16. Like, here's the thing, like you know, like the shoes on both feet here. Like, there's value in long games because, like I said, like if I pick up a JRPG, I'm expecting this to be long. I'm expecting to be a lot of do nothing things. I'm expecting a lot of side quests. I'm expecting a lot of grinding, all that stuff. But that's the exact reason I buy the JRPG, because that's what I want. When I buy a game like Resident Evil, honestly, the gameplay, I don't want a super long scary game.
No,
no, you don't.
You'll die.
You'll die either A, they'll have to keep like ramping it up, and at some point you're just fucking nonsensical, or two, it becomes stale. But the fact, like I know nothing about Village. I really don't. So the fact that they keep Village means they have probably cram-packed every single moment of it with something. And I'm all like, oh, that terrifies me.
If it's a game you can power through in 3 hours, obviously that's like speedrunning tricks are probably not full boy games, but like, yeah, no, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Another thing, well, technically I got it for free. Like thinking about like Subnautica, right? That's a big wide open sandbox game. During some streams I've made decent progress. I got a little floundery last week. I kind of lost my pace. I don't know if the game is always this jank or if it's just unoptimized for the PS4 version. I fucking hate the Aurora. I hate this giant blob of stuff that like the game doesn't know how to process. It's full of I literally can't even get inside it yet. I haven't figured out where the spot to go is. I'm just like confronted by a giant physics block that like makes my screen shake and all the textures look blank, and I'm just like, I hate this thing. This gives me angina.
Oh, you haven't got on the Aurora yet?
No, I haven't figured out how to get inside.
I shall not spoil it for you.
I mean, you can. I don't care.
It's okay. It's the back. It's the backside.
Okay.
The crack
I've
side.
been in the backside.
Yeah.
I'll take another look though. It's like, it just looks like dog shit, and I'm like, I can't see anything. I don't like this. I'm like wandering around lost underwater. I can hear the Reaper Leviathan behind me somewhere. I haven't gotten eaten by one yet. Though allegedly somebody did see one on screen that I didn't see. I heard them, fucker, but he was supposedly on screen. So scroll back to the stream archive.
Yes. Yeah, you go to the backside, the cracked in half part, and you basically have to walk up onto it.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the bit next time. And like, but now that I don't even know. I had a little bit of a backseating problem last stream.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. So some people in chat were a little pushy. One guy was like, dude, your base is like in the dunes, and I'm like, no, my base isn't in the dunes. If you go to the dunes, PDA lady yells at you because you're dumb. Now, it is technically on the border of the dunes, and I did not realize how close it is to that biome, but it's not actually in a bad spot. It's like literally if I've moved my base like 100 meters left, it's in a zone that is technically counted as safe shallows. It's not a problem. I also did learn that bases are bullshit. It's very funny. I built a moon pool that didn't connect to anything, and it still broke my entire base and flooded everything. And that was a fun 5 minutes. But yeah, like the little bit of the backseating plus just generally feeling a little lost made me feel a little high tension. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to jump back into Subnautica this week. I might take a week off and do some Jackbox. I actually don't think I mentioned it, but I did buy Jackbox Party Pack 7 for the PC when it was on sale the last batch. So
neat.
I don't think we've streamed any of that. So maybe I'll take a week off and we'll do some Jackbox. I know that the PS5 update to Subnautica is coming soon, so that might be cool when we're showing it. That said, I am still having general fun with Subnautica. I just, what I need to do is stretch my wings a little and boat about and find more shit. And I feel like I'm at a point in the game where I'm pretty comfortable about that. The only thing I'm not comfortable about is trying to find that one life pod that's on the surface. They gave me the general direction, and I started like cruising towards it in my Seamoth, and I'm just like, no, I can't do this. I hate this. I hate being on the surface and not being able to see shit below me. It's really freaking me out. I'll hunt this down when I've got a giant Cyclops submarine to hide in, and it has cameras, and I can look around. But yeah, like I said, I might take one off. I'm also not going to stream Naruto Ultimate Ninja because Bandai Namco is not good about copyright stuff. Also, it is literally Naruto, so They do actually use like stills from the anime. Anime companies are also not known for being forthcoming with us on the copyright front. But yeah, RE8 seems goo. We'll definitely have to check it out at some point.
Yeah, I definitely like again. RE7 is a game that I'm pretty sure will actually fucking scare me because it's one. Again, like, you know, talking about like I always like to talk about agency. RE7 gives you a bit of agency. You can do things, you can fight things, and they'll still fucking get you and bust out a wall. So that terrifies me. That genuinely.
Yeah, it's got a couple of. It's got some, and some of them are. Some of them are a little clunky and forced, but like, no, there's absolutely like some big boy jump scare moments, and like some shockers, and some of them are just like, there's some moments in this that are written to make you just go, what the fuck? What am I watching? What the fuck? Like, you're not scared, you're just like existentially concerned.
And like I said, those are the things that actually scare me. That's why I'm like I need a mega with me on this. It's like I can do it, but I'm not gonna have a good time.
And I mean, we tested it. That's the tech works, guys.
It works.
We finally tested it, but we'll figure out the timing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you're also working on stuff and things. I don't want to like put you on the spot, but do you have anything you want to talk about with the stuff and things?
Not really. Like I did a little bit of concept art. I honestly, like the Thursday that was planned, it's like I don't know why. I literally don't know why, but I got a hair up my bum. I was like, I'm gonna make me a Yoko Taro meme. And I spent like a couple of hours trying to figure out this meme, how I was gonna do it, and that took up most of the time. And I was so proud of it. I'm like, I'm gonna share it twice.
Listen, I cannot talk shit about that. I absolutely when you get that little niggling sense that you're like, wait a minute, I can make a shit post right now. Like, I have done that on shows before. I've been like, hold on a second, Lucky, I'm in MS Paint, I'm doing a meme. Like, when you feel it, you just get in there, and it's funny.
And so I mostly worked on that, and then yesterday I was like, ah, shit, like, because my plan was to actually do the thumbnails on Thursday, so, you know, I can, like, do other things and stuff, but I didn't do that. So Friday I was like, ah, shit, I gotta work on this thumbnail. I'm like, and then I can, like, oh no, I got the itch. And I had, actually, I wonder if
well, yeah, and also I know you were busy with several things. You talked on Let's Talk FGO about how you went ham to try and get a Magi-chan, and then also, then on Friday you were like, fuck, I'm not in the raids.
Yep.
And you got to the raids on camera.
Yes, I did.
And the raids are now over. I gotta log in and wrap up story quests then. Later. Let's see, am I gonna have time to type it in? Nah, I gotta go take my laundry out of the dryer. I'll probably write the last couple seconds this tomorrow. I have time before we game. I gotta wait for Upside Down Loth to wake up.
Hang on, I gotta yell at Cheshire here for a second. Hang on.
He's yelling. But let's see. I think RE8 is the only big game news out right now. Other than that, yeah, the new Pokemon Snap came out and everybody loves it. I do actually want to buy that game at some point, and I feel like the experience will be a little ruined if I watch people play it, so I have been skipping all of that myself. Again, don't know if that'll be like a stream thing, but that's definitely, I'm thinking about, like, that'll be a thing I want. But
I gotta retweet this. It's super important to me and my lifestyle.
But I also, and I'm trying to, we talked about games being shorter or longer. I'm trying to, like, control my time and limit how, I don't want to go overboard with, like, spending too much money and also buying too many games and not being able to play them all, you know?
Yeah, no, that's Lucky's problem. I've spent absolutely way too much money, and I need to cut back. I really do.
I'm holding on right now. I have avoided going ham, but I have definitely chipped in a little stuff. Like I did while it was on sale. I did spend the $20 and buy that Jack collection, the Jack bundle. Because unfortunately, PlayStation makes that way too easy that you can buy on your computer and then have your PS5 start downloading it. It's way too convenient. That's dangerous. But also, I have to do practical things. Like I mentioned this at the start of the show. I also, bought some groceries and stuff. So like you gotta always weigh your entertainment purchase with your practical purchases. Which is what I'm doing. Like, and I'm already technically $60 in the hole for that Mass Effect thing. That's a pre-order. Amazon hasn't billed me for that yet. So, you got to make sure everything's up. I got to pay my phone bill. Keep up on memberships and stuff. So yeah, you don't want to. Time is money, and money is time. You don't want to waste either of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Though speaking of things I have bought in time, Also, I do believe my new big boy box of Yu-Gi-Oh is supposed to be coming Monday, so hopefully I'll be able to shoot an unboxing and throw that video up for people. If you're wondering when that will happen, because I talked about that last time. But yeah. So, I don't really know much else video game. Did you want to talk about some anime stuff, Lucky?
I can definitely talk about some anime stuff. So, like I said, I haven't actually written... Okay, why? Sorry, fucking, MMO character, IGN names, sometimes giving me the agita. Sometimes.
I know that feel. I see many screen caps, not just from you, about people's names in channels.
So, I'll talk about a... Yes, it is male wife, Loth.
Wait, hold on. What are we saying here?
I mean, that...
Now, if it was just house husband, then they're clearly a man of culture.
Yeah, no, but, like... I'll post it. It's male wife, and they belong to the free company Girls. I'm just like... Okay?
I'm just like,
Like, here's the thing. This is the thing I never understand. This is the name that you have to basically refer to yourself as, and have to constantly see as you play this game. Like, why? Like, I swear to God, I have seen this person. I saw them yesterday. Why would you name your character Toilet Liquor? Explain this to me. Why?
they probably think it's funny.
Oh my god. Anyway, anime. So, I have been keeping up on my anime, and while I haven't actually written anything down, I can actually talk about a few of them in particular. The first one I'm going to talk to might sound like a bit of a weird choice, but stay with me. Just stay with me. So, one of the ones I'm going to actually recommend to everyone to watch is called Pretty Boy Detective Club. Now, straight from the start, you might hear that name as like, oh, does that sound like some, otome, girl bait shit? Yes, but actually no. This actually is written by, how do you pronounce his name? Niso, I'm gonna fuck it up. It's Niso is... Oh yeah, Nisio Isin. Who has wrote things like the Monogatari series, the Katana Guard, he wrote Madeka Box. He's a Japanese novelist who treads this weird line between writing light novels and actually writing full-on novels. Well known for wild and crazy works filled with pop reference lores and all that stuff, and is, for during the 2010 to the 2015s was stupid wildly popular. The man knows what he's doing. And like I said, he wrote Pretty Boy Detective Club. And it's honestly it is as it sounds. It's about a bunch of pretty boys who run a detective club. But you have to go a little bit further beyond that because as I said, it's classic Isin with, a lot of commentary, a lot of references, all that stuff, and nothing is quite as it seems, especially in these detective cases. I guess
the best kind of a detective case.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this like a classic mystery case because you will never, and I mean honestly, you will never guess what the actual twist is. It's just so bamboozling. You mind if I give a spoiler? I'm gonna give you guys a spoiler for the first case because while it is the 3 episode in the first arc,
yeah, I'm about to say what's the rate of cases?
Like I said, the first case is 3 episodes, the second one was 2. We're only up to 5 episodes. But okay. I don't necessarily feel like it will necessarily ruin the space. So, the viewpoint character is actually a girl. This also gives me some Ouran Host Club vibes because the girl eventually starts dressing as a boy to hang out to join the Pretty Boy Detective Club. But she... Branding. When she was young, she saw a super bright star, and all her life, she wanted to be an astronaut because she wanted to find that star, and her parents were against it. Turns out that bright star wasn't actually a star, but a military satellite being blown up with a nuke. I heard that, Omega.
Yeah. No, it was very audible. I was just like,
Yeah, no.
it's very extreme.
Yeah. And
specific.
and the only reason that she could she could see it is because she has a superhuman power of having super crazy fucking vision that actually burns her eyes out. And if she keeps fucking using them, she'll be blind by her 20s, and her parents don't want her to be an astronaut because she'll keep using her eyes. So it's a lot.
Super eyes.
Well, like I said, they kind of explain more, but I don't want to go into too much detail. I just wanted to give you the
Just watch the show.
Yeah, just watch
She's
the show.
got special eyes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Special eye.
Oh, legendary is like fucking hell. I'm curious about what now.
Special eyes.
I'm curious about what now.
Watching you.
And we brought it back to Naruto. So it's good, and the second part why I super recommend this is because it's animated by Shaft, and they pull the full Shaft weirdness. Cause, yeah, no, it's gonna be trippy, and it's beautiful. It really is. The boys are super fucking pretty. And the main girl, she has her fair amount of attraction and stuff, but they have the weird Shaft angles, the weird ass cinematography, the weird ass, oh, what do I want to call this? Like, it's peak
The
Shaft.
vibes.
Yeah, it's the Shaft vibes. God, I wish do we have any fucking? I doubt they have any, but let me see if they have any gifts.
I mean, the gifts definitely exist. The odds that the thing shows them is kind of eh.
Oh wait. Like here's some of the animation you see in this. Well, this is from the opening, but still.
Well, I'm noticing that this guy has super long. Like those are some clamped to your legs.
Yeah, no.
80% legs.
I'm trying to see if I can find.
That is some Doan energy.
I like how everyone's going for the opening, the opening. Yeah, but oh, what's a good one? I love this one. But just, alright, here's a good one. The boys are pretty and the animation is great. Actually, this is all of them? Yeah. Oh man, this is a big gift. Did they actually get all of them? Oh, they did. Wild.
You can do a lot with gifts these days.
So, yeah, no, it's weird, it's trippy, it's very lovely, and it's entertaining. It makes me laugh.
That's always a good sign.
So, yeah, I highly recommend it. But yeah, second one I want to recommend is called Shadow House. By the way, these are both on Funimation. Shadow House is, what do I want to? None of these. None of these is the girl. I want to say. Like I said, you should, if you watch I should find the. I bet I can find it. Yes, Shadow House is amazing. I think the best way I can call it, I think it's a mystery drama. I think that's what I want to call it. Basically, they're in a mansion with these soot people who just have no faces. They're just black. They're just black. And when they feel negative emotion, they emit soot. And it gets everywhere. So they have something which they call living dolls, which look like quote unquote regular people to help them with their lives. And eventually they're trained to become whoever they're serving, to become their face. So when that person is when the shadow person is supposed to be emoting, the living doll is supposed to be replicating what emotion is they're supposed to have on their face. It's a little trippy. Now, the story oh god, I forgot. Oh yeah. The story at the moment is focusing on the main pair of Kate and Emiliko, who Kate has not debuted yet. She has not, gone out into proper society because she has no face, because she just got her doll. And it's going through her and Emiliko slowly finding out things about, the Shadow House, because as far as I can see, this entire series just might take place in this fucking house, and it's huge, and shit's weird. It's like a Resident Evil mansion, almost. It's just like, wow. And, oh, I don't know, actually, who did the animation for it? I don't know. It's good. Like I said, they do a lot of little attention to detail. Attention to detail. The music's good. The voice acting is great. And it's interesting. I can't really necessarily say, like, how it's gonna go, because I have not read the manga, so I can't, like, put the one-to-one comparison and whatnot. But, like, I like it. It's amusing enough and entertaining enough, but at the same time, you get that sense of dread and drama underneath everything that makes you go, like, this is not all happiness and fun and games. There's some dark and sinister shit here, and I don't know where it's gonna rear its ugly head. Which I always kind of like that juxtaposition of things. It's that roller coaster of build up and payoff. Oh, but yeah, that's Shadow House. So both of those, so Pretty Boy Detective Club and Shadow House, you can find on Funimation right now. Yeah, no, that's a good wallpaper. Oh, wait, how do you do that? I want that. It plays the ending song. Yeah, the ending song's done by Riona, and it's fucking amazing. Hang on, Legendary's gonna tell me how he fucking gets that done. But yeah, no, as you can, like, if you look at the screen, like the one in the red dress, yeah, that's Kate. She's the shadow person, just no face. Yeah, it's great. So, what other ones do I want to talk about? I don't know necessarily. Oh, it is the wallpaper. I've seen people use it. So this one really doesn't need any explanation. I do want to bring people's attention to it. While the full-on season 2 of Maid Dragon has not come out, they are doing a little mini-series where they just do a bunch of shorts. They are cute. They're on Crunchyroll. So try them out. They're like usually a couple minutes, and they're just usually a gag or two, which honestly, that's one of the things I enjoy about Japanese media. They'll literally just make a show that comes out every week that's like maybe only a couple minutes long, but you still get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see here. I know I talked a little bit about Higehiro a couple weeks ago. They finally gotten through, I think I want to say, one of their first major plot points, and we'll be seeing where that goes there from here. Watching that show, though, has Lucky realized that he might have a thing for slightly taboo romances, and he's a little concerned about himself, but whatever. It's like, oh no, this like young teenage girl is thirsty for this like 30-something-year-old man. I wonder why this like speaks on me on a level. It's like, oh wait, it's because you're internally horny, you dumbass. So, let's see, what else has been big? I guess I can't go amiss in talking about 86. 86, the anime, being adapted from the light novel. I can't remember the author's name, but it's Goo. It's Goo. Basically follows the story of... Oh, I can't even remember the hecking name of the Empire. Well, like I said, that's why I say I call it a taboo romance, because usually the guy in question doesn't see the woman's, like, the girl in a sexual manner. It's usually the girl thirsting on the guy. And the guy's just like, no, I want you to, like, you know, have a good love and not treat yourself like a piece of shit. Which, like, honestly, this actually brings me up a point that I'm going to tangent slightly. I was playing Final Fantasy 4. I was playing Final Fantasy 14 the last night with, you know, the peeps and the friends, and I said, like, hey, I'm gonna go play with these children, and someone just said, man, that's like very concerning when you just say it out of context like that. And I'm just like, why though? I'm gonna just go play with some fucking kids. And it's like, what, like, why does me going to play with kids fill you with such concern? And they were just like, I do not have such a good answer for that. I was like, yeah, you don't. Heck. But back on to 86.
Phrasing is a
The what?
Interesting thing. Phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
Or phrasing.
Phrasing. We still have that?
It's funny. That and grammar. Grammar is also very funny. Where you put the commas. Put your commas in important place.
Phrasing. I will check Steam. Well, actually, Should I check Steam right now? I should check. I should probably pull it up before I forget about it. But so 86, I can't remember proper nouns for the life of me. It's basically a story. It's a military drama, I guess is the best way to put it. So, hey, what is this? Oh, cool. Oh, it actually costs something? Holy shit. Well, thank you, Legendary Boss Hunter. I will be completely irresponsible with this.
Investigation.
I should probably close this now. So, I haven't moved at all in Final Fantasy 14 because I'm talking. But, so 86 is military drama about the relationship between a naive commander and her undesirable command, I guess is the best way to put it. So basically the way it is there was a battle, and then the protagonist country, was victorious. But because the enemy used autonomous drones that are still operating independently, they still have to fight the battle. The kingdom's dead, but the battle goes on. So
very classic sci-fi trope.
Mm-hmm. So what they decided to do is they enact an act which all people of a particular race get put behind these walls and saved from the battle in these 85 districts, but everybody else gets moved outside the city into a district called, District 86, and theoretically don't exist. They then make these 86 get into crappy-looking mechas and fight the legions of autonomous soldiers. But because they don't live in the city, they do not consider those people, so therefore this is a war of no casualties. Now, the commander thinks this is bullshit and doesn't want this to happen, but unfortunately she's just a naive little girl, and she kind of gets flack from everyone, including from her own command. Episode 3 is it's something, y'all. I'm gonna say, the guy was a little bit of a little shit, but thankfully this is something that actually was gonna probably actually make or break the show for me. Is after what happened in episode 3, how they acted in episode 4. And it was I think it was actually very, very good. How we were talking earlier about how sometimes you just had to fucking get it out.
Yep.
This kid had to fucking get it out, and unfortunately, the commander, who, as I said, is naive. She's not a bad person, but she's definitely naive. Took a brunt of a tirade that probably could have been phrased better. Probably could have used some forethought. Probably, said some things that were not meant. And in the next episode, the kid was definitely like, I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm kind of a dumbass. And I was like, okay, no. He has recognized that he is actually a little bit of a prick. That is good. But, no, 86 is really good. Like I said, we're on episode, 4 or 5? 5. And, like I said, things are going in an interesting direction. Shoot, I can't remember who animates it, but I do know that the original score is being done by your boy Sawano Hiroyuki, so you got those fat drops.
Is it just 86, right?
Yeah, it's just 86.
Media, light novels, anime. It is produced by A1 Pictures.
Ah, okay.
Is this also on the Funnies, or is this on...
No, that's on the Crunchyrolls. Actually,
okay. I may actually check that out, because that sounds like it's got some stuff that I like.
It's pretty good. I would definitely recommend it. Hang on, I actually gotta check something, because I'm pretty sure Cloverworks was... You mentioned A1, I'm like, wait a minute, isn't Cloverworks doing something? Because I keep remarking to myself that Cloverworks keeps doing a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, they're doing Shadow House, that's what it was. Listen... Shower, yeah. Okay, so... But I think that's all the anime I want to talk about for now. I'm watching other things, but I have to catch up on them, like The Sage's Magic Powers Omnipotent. Oh, what else am I watching? I can't remember names off the top of my head. I really can't. Hey, guys, actually, if I'm going to talk about something weird, something that I find super weird, like others might not find this weird. So, there's a manga, a super popular manga called Komi-san Can't Communicate. It's super popular. It was like in the top like one. It was in the top 10 list of manga that people want to see in anime. It has been
you know how you know it's popular?
Mm.
Because you see references to it and art of it all everywhere.
You do. And like it's been a meme that like all these other popular ones have been getting in anime, and Nasu recommends Shadow House. Wild. That's a recommendation. But Komi-san, I mean, has finally got like an anime greenlit, but it's being done by OLM. Now I actually had to look them up because I never heard of them, and now I realize why I never heard of them, because OLM is usually, or is it OML? I can't remember. Is the studio the what?
Channel Catcher.
Yeah. Is the studio that handles things like fucking Pokemon, Inazuma 11, Beyblade, was it Vanguard, Buddy Fight, like.
So a lot of, what would we say? Not like schlocky, but like a lot of like mass-produced weekly anime stuff, like
specifically
toy
things
tie-ins, basically. Let's be real, toy tie-ins.
Yeah, and like, you know, a lot of things aimed at like younger kids. Now, to be fair, they haven't necessarily only done that. They were the studio that did the OG Berserk anime back in like the 1990s.
Wow. Oh man, that's some serious chops, damn.
Yeah, no, they did that, but like I said, this was back in the fucking 90s. They also did a lot of they did a few VN adaptations in the early 2000s.
I gotta be real. That probably means that you know nobody who actually animated that is probably still working at the studio at this point.
No,
probably.
So, and like I was actually checking out their their list. Like most of their stuff, like they have like a little negligent, but most of their stuff is usually focused on like product based, toy based, you know, children's like you know, Saturday morning cartoon level stuff. So I'm just so like, how did they get Komi-san, which is a super popular shonen title that is, I want to say it's not like the super hugest biggest, but it has a very big following. Like. Because here's the thing, like, the thing about animation is sometimes it's whoever's available at whatever time, and I'm just like, but, like, why? I need answers of, like, why this is happening. Actually, let me see here. Oh, can I find it? OLM Studio. Here it is.
Oh, while Lucky's looking stuff up, I do want to throw a shout out to Carlos in chat for the super chat.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate him.
Oh, yeah, Yokai Watch. They also do a lot of Yokai Watch, too. They also did Zoid.
Definitely in the genre.
They did Zoids.
Yep.
Let's see here. Future Card Fight, Buddy Fight Ace, Card Fight Vanguard, Yokai Watch. Yep. Inazuma 11, Beyblade. They do like a little like, what is this?
I watched a little bit of Beyblade as a kid because you just watch whatever's on, but I like missed the start of that series, so I don't understand. I don't understand anything about Beyblade in the greater context. Like, what? Why is there a dragon in the top? I don't know. I missed that.
Yeah, it's a toy show studio. So I'm just a little like confuzzled. Like I gotta go. I got like honestly. I think
it's an interesting stretch for them, right? It's
right.
like it's if you heard that Disney Studios and not one of their spin-offs was gonna like do like a hardcore blood and guts thing, right? You'd be like, that doesn't make any sense.
Now, to be fair, like, looking at their latest stuff, it looks like they might be trying to move away from of it, because they're also, like, what they have going on right now, this is actually co-produced with another studio, but they have something going on called Odd Taxi. And Odd Taxi's kind of wild. It's kind of animated, like it's supposed to be a cute children's show, but it's actually dealing with, like, super dark real-world shit, like fucking crooked cops, you know, kidnapping cases, all from the fucking, like, and the main characters is a fucking walrus who drives a taxi. I'm like, so no, they could be, like, stretching out, but I'm like, this is Komi-san. This is, like, something with something, like, this is someone, these are people's, like, fucking, you know, big drink.
I do want to throw this out there. It's entirely possible that they landed this contract because Komi-san is so wildly popular, and these guys clearly have the chops to work with big companies managing their IP, right?
Right.
Like, I haven't watched a Pokemon anime in forever, but I assume the Pokemon Company and Game Freak and Nintendo are, like, all in there breathing down your neck when you make those, right? So it's entirely possible that this company was chosen, the studio was chosen because they, you know, they do a little get along, go along with these big IPs, and so they manage it very well. Like it's interesting, and I would assume that they are not going to do this like a weekly shonen where we keep making it every week until we run out of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So that at least should give them some better time to manage the project. But yeah, that's definitely a weird one. That's one of those things where you ask, like, wait a minute, you're making this? You're making this? Like, I'm trying to think, what's a...
Well, honestly, like I said, like I haven't seen any like official confirmation or like that, but like I said, like so it could just be motherfucking fake, and I've just been bamboozled. But at the same time, I'm just like,
Yeah, let us know. But yeah, like, yeah, it's definitely a conundrum.
Sorry, I just went on Twitter and I saw Saya as the Doctor. I'm like, no, that's a retweet. That's a retweet. How dare? Alright, but yeah, I think that's it I have for anime.
Yidge.
Actually, has anything come up of Netflix's fucking VTuber?
No, I don't think they've gone anywhere with that yet.
Okay.
They announced they're gonna have a brand ambassador VTuber. That's the last I heard.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a Chinese rocket that's gonna fall to Earth. It's not gonna fall on us specifically though. It's I think I saw the projected landing was gonna be in Africa somewhere. Yeah, space derby's falling.
Yeah, it's like there's a whole bunch of shit in space that's just floating around the planet. Fuck.
Well, specifically, I believe this was a Chinese launched rocket that was bungled.
Ah.
It was a bad launch and did not achieve its proper goal. So let me see if we can find.
I mean, Chinese rocket is trending in the U.S.
Oh yeah, no, people are all about this. I mean, to be fair, people are all about all space debris. Like that was a big deal that the old Mir stuff was coming down and the Space Lab shit. That's a Facebook launch. That link doesn't exist. I refuse. Facebook is fake news. That's right. I said it. Mark Zuckerberg, he's not real. He's an alien robot. Also, I'm live streaming right now. I'm not gonna watch a live stream of somebody else live stream something else. It's nonsense. Yeah, I cannot find a good projection though of roughly where it is.
I don't care.
The odds that it'll hit you are very slim.
I'm gonna Darny Dako this shit though.
But if it does hit you in the face, you get to become a Grim Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Why, yes, kids at home. I really did like the TV series Dead Like Me. That's over the med, yeah.
Alright, so...
That probably does. Alright, Axe is a babu. He probably hasn't heard of Dead Like Me. I don't think it was very big.
Probably not.
What was it? It ran for like 2 seasons on Showtime. 03, 04. I think it had a big resurgence on Yeah, I don't know if you could read when this show came out, Axe. Like, well, yeah, it's like it ran from 03 to 04.
Oh, I should do stuff, but I don't want to do stuff.
But no, the show's really good. You should watch it. It's only 2 seasons in a movie. It's a very classy series. Okay, anyway. Lucky is debating doing things in his magical Elfland game.
I'm a succubus.
Running back and forth. Are you still wearing that weird hat you had on earlier when you did the samurai thing, or was that a very specific thing that you...
That was a very specific thing. I have to glamour that. Usually my character runs around with fucking succubus horns on her head that probably are very uncomfortable, but for some odd reason I've just grown to dig the aesthetic.
Well, you're already playing a character with, like, horns, so, it accentuates.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it looks like especially if they're an attachable, like, vanity item, it looks like you could take those off and have a pretty sick bow. Yes, you could absolutely knock somebody. Like, you gotta watch out for doors. Oh, God, what's that from? I think it's from, like, but you gotta watch out. Somebody was talking about wings. You gotta watch out for doors. Ceilings, they're a problem. Turn sideways in doorways. 45-degree angle.
Like, Loth's not gonna be here, so I can't do the main story quest, because Loth wants to be there when I do the main story quest, and he's all like... And last night I was going through it, he was like, alright, if we go past this point, it's like, we have to go all the way, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll stop here. But now Loth's talking about he has to go other places, and I'm like, Loth, you're killing me. You're killing me,
well,
Smalls.
Loth is in the future, so it's Mother's Day.
That is true.
By the way, everybody, happy future past Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Hug your mother.
No, Loth, you're my Oni-chan.
Spiritually hug your mother if you can't physically hug your mother, if that's like a weird thing.
Yeah. So, like I said, if you've seen the stream, I'm totally out of myself. I play literally the smallest fucking aura that I can. And since I'm usually playing with Loth, who's, I think he's the short, aura male he can get, but he still, like, towers over me. And I'm usually with him, so I just call him fucking Oni-chan in public, and just make him just writhe constantly. That's how I torture him.
I can understand why, because I know that Loth is a I believe technically a youngest sibling.
Yeah.
Same with me, youngest of 5. I'm not a twin though. A lot of people are talking about being twins. I'm not a twinsy.
I'm the oldest of 3.
All of my brothers and sisters are quite a bit older than me.
Yes, but it gives him the cringe, and I like doing it to it in public chats. So I just double the cringe on him. I'm just like, suffer. Oh, don't worry. I'm calling.
That's going in my cringe compilation.
Yep. I call Suna One-chan now, so you're not alone.
Lucky, not afraid to make people feel bad in public, but he will call you out for having a dumb MMO name.
Yes, I will.
Like, he's just here to embarrass you a little. Like,
a little.
friendly. As I watch you circle this courtyard for, like, the 5th time.
I'm really trying to figure out what I want to do. Like, that's the thing, because like I said, like,
Sorry, I just saw this motherfucker in bright red, like, backflip into the scene.
No, it's great. Because, like, here's the problem I'm having. I have things I need to do. Fucking... Yeah, I don't like grind... Okay, let me pull up my fucking character. Like... I could grind, but, like... I'm like, grinding actually makes me have to, like, think about stuff. Actually, the raids are done. Do we go straight into the fucking next story bit after that, or do we have to wait?
Alright,
I'm
right now.
I'll probably do that here in a minute. But...
There's your meme, yeah. Put Tier Rabbit in there and then just do Tree with you. You receive cringe and betrayal. I receive amusement.
No, you retrieve cringe but loyalty. Because I'm like, I made a deal with you, Loth. I said I wouldn't go on along with the MSQ as long as you let me call you Oni-chan. And you agreed to this.
Loth's great for blood packs. I absolutely entered into the So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a funny business. We have an ongoing series. Loth is one of the players.
Mm-hmm.
Loth is the only person after 20 weeks of episodes. He has not yet won a tournament.
Jesus.
Yeah, he has bad luck. He doesn't have, well, okay, he has the worst record because he doesn't have the most wins. He's not on the biggest losing streak, though. That's Dallas. Dallas has more losses than Loth right now, and he's been losing for longer. He's gone longer without a win period. But, Loth is our bottom tier player. I am usually like in the number 2, number 3 slot. I'm tied exactly with Marth right now. We have the exact same win-loss rate. Which, by the way, Marth was actually... It took him a couple weeks to find his footing in the tournament, so I'm confident Loth's going to come back. He's going to get us all. Now, Lucky can check the numbers. He's on our channel. It's not a big deal. But as much as I am decently rated, I also have the curse that it's my show that I make, so I absolutely job out a lot. I absolutely go out. So I absolutely called my shot this week with the episode that's already out. Came out yesterday. Where me, Dallas, and Loth are all fighting in the first round. And it was absolutely like, okay, well, so we're going to be the first round, boys. We're all going out. And I was like, Loth, we're going to enter into the Blood Pact now, the Suicide Pact. We're going to ban some cards now. We're going to get some things out. And it did happen. We did hopefully move the metagame a little. We'll have to see this week. I've got some fun ideas for decks, but yeah, we do a lot of fun stuff, and sometimes you got to make your own fun. And mostly we make our own fun by yelling at Axe to be a better winner.
Oh wait,
Actually,
I'm the healer.
right.
Fuck.
Have I? I haven't scheduled a bracket this week. I need to remember. I had a specific idea. I got to think about it. I'm trying to remember. Was it going to be me and Loth? I don't think so. Axe is also just good at the game and has a good pool. He is literally the best player. Like, this is the thing. Like, Axe is a sore winner, but not in the sense that he's usually like, aha, I'm the best. Like, we could take that. We could take that if he was an asshole to us. No, he's usually just like, man, I feel bad now that I've completely destroyed you. And we're just like, Axe, shut the fuck up. Shut up, Axe. Quiet you. And like, and I know Axe probably thinks at times it's a little unfair, but there are several times where we go like, wait a minute, Axe. What are you doing bitching about the format? You have the best record. You have the best score. What do you have to complain about? You're winning all the time. Like, and that's not always fair, but that is usually how the rest of us feel. We're like, wait a minute, Axe, hold on. What? How are you the wrong party in this situation? You're still the best. I know you don't. You don't always feel like the best, but I like to say it so that hopefully you'll internalize it. You are the best. Your score is the best. You have the most wins. You've won the most games and the most tournaments. You have the best percentage. That's not actually always been true, by the way. I think at some point I did not have the best win-loss ratio, but I technically had more wins than Axe. I do not anymore. Very volatile player. But, yeah, just follow it along if you ever need to kill time. We've got 20 weeks now, 20 episodes of the series. It's pretty fun, I hope. I think I've fixed my recording problem. I believe my redundancy had to do with OBS also opening up my capture card. Like opening up an extra instance for the Elgato, even though I'm not using the Elgato. Mm-hmm. So it was causing like some problems. I found that when I manually go in and close that process, it runs a lot cleaner.
I should probably double check that.
Yeah, like obviously if you're recording off your Elgato, then you know you need it, and I'm pretty sure your computer's a little juicier than mine. But also, I don't know. I think OBS has also been a little weird lately. But yeah, I believe I have de-scuffed video capture, and I can still stream okay.
Yay!
So everything's fine, and the product is good, and we're funny. I hope.
We're funny.
And if we're not funny, we're cool guys. We do have some fun moments.
I don't know. I do enjoy making people laugh, but when it comes to humor, I like to be just for something I say to naturally be funny. I don't want to actually try and make a joke. Like, I don't know. Well, actually, do you have anything else to say about Yu-Gi-Oh?
Other than a comment, I mean, I understand why that is, but we don't want your pity, Axe. First of all, I'm not a scrappy underdog. I was number 2 in the format for weeks just because I can't beat you in a game to save my fucking life. But also, nah. I at no point does Dallas want you to feel bad, like have the privilege of feeling bad for him. And that's the thing. Winning doesn't give you any wow, Axe really cracked himself up with that one. Winning doesn't give you any privilege to feel bad for people. It just gives you the privilege to be on top. And you have less privileges because you're the winner. You got the privilege of winning. Now you need to shut the fuck up about how you're not winning. Anyway, we'll see how the thing goes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how stuff happens. We're gonna have an interesting one this week.
Yeah.
But yes, you were saying something, Lucky.
Yeah, no, like talking about the channels and stuff. Like, I try not when I think about being entertaining, I don't want to actually necessarily crack jokes. I just want to say something just to say something and just have it be naturally funny. Like yesterday, talking about the 14s again. I almost killed Suna with laughter because Loth was trying to find a screenshot and he had him sorted weirdly, and I was basically like, Loth, they should be at the I forgot that was mechanics. I died. I was like, Loth, should be if they're sorted by date, they should be at the end unless you took fucking pictures from the fucking future. And I guess it was in delivery or something because Suna just died. Like that moment. Love, you remember that moment.
Picture from the fucking future. Yeah, no, I can see how that could be funny in context. You're just minding your own business and you just throw that out there. Yeah. I do that occasionally where I just say weird shit and it kills people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you're there, Loth, the future's probably fucking bleak.
Sometimes the lack of the lack of delivery is funny. I think I talked about this on the latest episode that came out. It happened off recording. We were in the pre-show, but Vesper flubbed trying to say a one-liner so hard that I was dying. Like, I was just off mic cacking it up, and then until I was eventually like, and like I was coughing for like a solid, I think, first 5 minutes of the recording.
Did these people not see me die? I'm a little
No,
confused. Wait, where's my swift cast? Oh wait, there it is. Sorry, these people like apparently kept going on without me, and it was weird. Like, you guys are weird. Like, I died, people. Sorry, I don't know. I'm slightly distracted. I'm trying to do content, and now I'm being a white mage, which I'm not good at the healer. This is why I like betraying people.
Healing is very, not that I've played a lot of MMOs, but healing has always been a very intense task. Because you gotta be mindful and responsible for other shit.
Yeah, so I'm like, I have to do better keys and all that crazy stuff, and I'm just like, I don't want to.
I assume all this GIF energy is from exactly like 4 people in VC.
Ooh, excuse me.
Not this VC, by the way, the other one.
Ah.
But like, the amount of people to posting is very inordinate.
I'm being stabbed. This is a problem.
Lucky, I already miss our lagless interplay. I can't look over at my TV and see you in real time. Like, you say you're being stabbed, and I turn to look at the stream display, and I'm like, I can't even tell. That's in the future. Future stabs.
Well, like I said, well, like I said, like if we want to, we can hook that up. Again, I just don't like. Fuck. What would I play?
Nah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's a kind of.
I'm just saying that like it's interesting for some of the comedic timing, you know.
Why are we doing all this extra shit? I kind of just want to leave.
Are you doing extra shit? You should not do extra shit. Bail. Pull out on them. They're not helping you at all. They're letting you get stabbed. Lucky they didn't even notice you died.
Actually, that's true.
They're fake friends.
They're fake friends. Fuck these people. I'm out. Abandon! Oh, I can't abandon. I can't. I will, though. I fucking will, though. And I'm gonna scream betrayal, too. Yes!
Listen, I'm not... I fucking Palpatine the shit out of Lucky just now. Do it. But also, listen, it's just an extension. Live your best life. Just live your best life, kids. If you're in an MMO dungeon and you're not being taken care of and people don't appreciate your job, fucking leave. Leave them. Leave them to die. You don't need them.
Nope.
You get your own dungeon with blackjack and hooker.
No, the horns didn't get me, but I did die on I did die to the Doom mechanic on the first boss. But then they apparently killed it, moved on, and went on to the next fight before I even got there. And then the tank died. I was like, did you guys not see I was not there? And then they're doing it like the extra bits of the Corn Dungeon, which you really don't need to fucking do, because they're kind of a pain of a fucking dick. And then they let me get attacked, so I'm just like, nah. I'm not about that life. So I screamed betrayal and I left.
You gotta hate when they go for the extra shit.
Yeah.
I do know a little bit about some of that energy because while I didn't do Destiny raids because you can't do those matchmaking, I did do like night strikes and stuff like that, and you know you get random people, and it's always a little annoying when you're minding your own business and you're doing your thing and you see that other guy's like he's going 100% ham trying to get like an extra kill or fight a rare enemy or something, and I'm just like, no, dude, just hide in the corner, throw bullets, it's fine, don't get fancy, don't get weird.
Like, I'm pretty sure one of those people was probably new to it or stuff, but you gotta tell me these things. If you just go in silently and not let me know what's going on with you in this MMO, I'm just gonna assume that you guys are little fucking shits.
Actually, I wonder, does that mean did I technically play as a healer in Destiny? I usually played Phoenix Warlock, so I could revive people. Destiny, obviously being a first-person shooter, doesn't have a strict healing system.
That is super fucking accurate. But why is it called Limga? It's Limsa.
Somebody's edited this, clearly.
Yeah. But it's also accurate.
is a bustling port and a horny people hideout. Well, they don't hide. This is a great. I assume this is an edit that somebody did of the Final Fantasy wiki. It looks like somebody clearly did a funny edit.
Yeah, let's see here. These AFK girls, some of them are probably ERPers right here. Let's see here. We just got animals right here. These people just be hanging out. They probably ain't bad, but they're gonna be fucking weird. I said these people are probably in the middle of an ERP. Yeah, no. Limps and Laments said we horny, y'all. Most people will be in various states of undress. I am not in various states of undress because I have not found a skimpy outfit that speaks to my soul yet.
Listen, you gotta be fashionable.
Mm-hmm. Once I find the one outfit, yeah, I'll lay about in Limps and Laments on my cushion. And when people are like, hey, you want to be on some ERP, I'm like, you can't afford me. I know what I'm about.
Yeah, what was it? Sunsinger. That was me. And I had the special mod where if you can do your ult, you can do your super if you're dead, and you come back to life. And also if your allies die while they're in your ult zone, they get better.
They get better.
That was me, because I thought it would, like... Voidwalker was a super cool damage output, and Stormcaller was really rad, but I was like, no, if I'm going to play matchmaking with people, and I'm a Warlock main, because I was that guy, Warlock Master Race, it's like, no, you got to help people. You got to be cool with people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What am I, some kind of hunter out here doing solo damage?
I don't even remember what I fucking played when I was playing Destiny 2. Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to have to call...
We're probably also a Warlock because big magic energy, or possibly a Hunter because sneaky breaky.
I think I was a Hunter. But,
I'm not... Call me when they release Destiny 2 Complete Edition for PS5. I'll do then, and I'll play all the DLC. I know baseline Destiny 2 is free on PlayStation, but I've already beat all that. I just haven't gotten around to buying all the X packs and shit. Because Destiny is in fact good. Because it's a Bungie FPS. It's cool. I know the lore is weird, but I actually unironically love that science fantasy shit. The lore is dope. Anyway, we've been going for 3 hours, and I know we've been talking about how like you're playing Final Fantasy 14, but you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, and we do have more story to do. So if we've run out of topics, we can wrap up.
Yeah, I say we wrap it.
We're busy people. We got shit to do. All right, Lucky says wrap up. Chat, you ready to wrap?
They're not. Well, they're not wrong.
Excuse me.
I'm just watching this fucking video of people filling things up. I'm like, this is satisfying as fuck.
Context? Like what kind of filling up? Phrasing.
That was not it. That's not it. Damn you.
Wrong copy paste. Don't worry, I do that all the time. Luckily, I don't usually do it when I'm copy pasting things into Hella Not Safe for Work, but occasionally.
Just filling things up.
I'll mute this so people don't have to hear real sounds, but oh no, you're just you're right, that is really satisfying. you're just doing household shit. I've been doing this shit all day. Put a label on it. Oh my god, they've got a spice rack for it. That's ooh. This is great. This is perfection. Holy shit. I'm going to retweet this. This is a masterclass of storage. Also, holy shit, that bowl thing to refill the coffee. I got to do that next time. Isn't it always annoying when you got that last bit of like instant coffee or something in the thing and you need to switch to a new one, but you can't get the rest of it? Ooh, goldfish. Quality choice, weird internet meme guy.
Oh shit! This
miles back. Goldfish. I
can't believe I missed this. Damn it! I just need to have all Fue tits just force themselves to the top.
Fue's been on a spree lately.
No, I just saw the fucking their latest Carmilla. I was like, Fu has gone wild on these hips, and I am okay with this. It's like, it shows nothing risque, so I'm gonna just fucking flat out share it. Look at this choiceness. Look at those hips.
Yep. I wonder if this is to celebrate the no Twitter crop.
It might be.
Yes, I have already retweeted this. It's probably retweeted and shared. He posted it on like May.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, how did I miss this?
Probably because Fui was probably being an animal at the time. I noticed that Fui goes on retweet sprees, like a lot of people I know. By the way, that's the thing that allegedly has happened. I think it's only on mobile, but Twitter has done away with the awful Twitter crops.
Oh yeah, no, I've totally like checked it out. Yeah, and a
No
lot
more
of people.
surprise jokes. Much more horny on main.
It doesn't. Oh, that's right. I do need to check out that fucking anime. I only just now like went back over to the fucking YouTube chat and saw the Super Chato time. That is something I do need to watch, Carlos. I will get there eventually. Why is this person named Oregon Reactor? That's a Warframe reference. Okay, yeah, Omega's gonna do fucking, talk shit about fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards and designs. I'm just gonna go yell at people in their fucking in-game names.
This is Lucky's new show. He hunts for bad MMO in-game names and yells about them.
God. I know. Yeah, big soft tacos. I should make some quesadillas. I think I'll make quesadillas when we get off.
Ooh, quesadilla.
Ooh, quesadilla.
A long time since I had a quesadilla. I should ask somebody about that sometime. Actually, we have a quesadilla. Well, we probably don't have the stuff, and probably why, but we do have a quesadilla maker somewhere.
Why do you need... Wait. What's a quesadilla maker?
It's a very... It's like a hot plate on two sides, and it's got the ridges, so when you press it together, it makes the quesadilla. You don't actually need it, but it was...
I'm about to say, I literally just use a fucking skillet, and I flip it!
Yeah, no, you can't do that. It was just something that... It was something that got purchased at some point by my parents, so I could make quesadillas faster myself, and it just didn't work out. Because it still requires too much prep time. But if we have the shit, I could make something.
I really do need to watch fucking... That is a fake machine. I do feel like sometimes there are kitchen appliances I just look at and I go, but why though?
I mean, yeah, if you think about the components to the quesadilla maker, it's just two hot plates with the ridges that they don't cut, but they pre-divot the quesadilla so it's in like 6 pieces. That's it. That's all it is. But it is the kind of thing where it's one of those but simple things where you can, you can half asleep apply tortilla, chicken, cheese, anything else if you're into that. Slap it together. Go.
Go.
Does that normally say Elmo in that cloth?
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
I believe so. Yeah, and Elmo is a helmet type.
Neat. Anyway, we were winding down before Loth gave us like 4 too many memes. But we're at 3 hours. It's time to wrap up. Yes, I know. I see somebody in chat saying good morning. Sorry, you've just missed us. We're going now because it's 10:30 at night. But you can always watch the archive when we finish. So,
I'm sorry, this is going to be a very boring Final Fantasy XIV tournament. I think the most interesting thing I did was I got pissed off people and ran away as I betrayed them.
You were doing some stuff earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You had a weird samurai fight at some point in this. That was probably cool. I vaguely paid attention. Anyway. You know what I'm good at? Ending the show. So, hey.
No, you're not. If I want to, I'll make this show keep going.
If you want to give this show a like, do so. Hit the like button. If you have any comments, leave in the comment section down below. You can also hit up our Discord. That link is in the description and on our channel page, as always. If you are new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We're very close to 3K. Do it. Sub now. Sorry, there's a funny thing going on in chat.
Sorry.
Even if you're already subscribed, Be sure to hit that bell for notifications so you guys know when we post a new video or when we stream, like this show that we're streaming. You can also join our channel. Hit that join button or memberships below. The button or the link in the description. And of course, like we said at the front of the show, 3 hours and some change ago, you can also support us on Patreon. Get access to episodes early, get audio formats downloadable, all that fun stuff. Yes, you missed it. It's over. Lucky.
Right.
Pull the lever.
Pulling the lever.
Wrong lever.